following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life Podcast, we will talk about Colin Kaepernick asking for a cool $20 million from the Alliance and the XFL. We'll discuss Spike Lee winning his first Oscar. We'll take some listener questions, discuss some NBA and Magic Johnson's going on in Lakerland. We'll also discuss some combine NFL information, and of course we'll wrap things up with trivia. All that and more. Let's get to it.
More than just watch some football. All my sports teams off season go through withdrawals, 30 minutes to tip off. Like Rakim was saying, we got ideas, give me ear problems. I like thunder and rain. I'm excited that you came on this journey with three of my friends. Defy life till we die and grow wings. Just a different perspective. Haters in every direction. Refuse to live my life based off your projections. Their expectations are lazy. My expectations are crazy. My lady defies me. Koozie, Brown, Brady, Jordan, LeBron, Aaron, Bonds, Mayweather, Ali Foreman. You get the picture, greatest ever born. I attack without warning. This is not around the horn. Them other shows whack, a lot of yawning. You really want to be the best, got to pay the price. We make winning look easy. Welcome to Defy Life. Defy Life.
Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. You can listen to us anywhere your favorite podcasts are available. As always, we encourage you to follow, subscribe, like, and drop us a comment whenever you listen. You can also follow us on all social media platforms at Go Defy Life. The Defy Life Podcast is sponsored by our friends at Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. This is episode 96 of the Defy Life Podcast, edging towards 100. I'm your host, J.R. Glymph. Joined as always by my wonderful co-hosts, Thomas Stevens, Alvin Glymph, Yusuf English, and of course, what the hell is Gerald Hedrick? We don't know. Thomas, how's it going today, sir? Bet you that kid is on mute talking to himself.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah. Well, until he finds out where his mute button is, his mute button must be like a clitoris. He can't find the shit. So,
true. Hey,
Alvin Glenn. Oh, there you go.
Hey. Yeah, I always let them put it in.
Find a G spot, huh?
In for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Put it in for me. Yeah.
How's it going today, sir?
It's going well, man. I clicked the mute and everything went kaplooey on me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what happened, but you know, it is what it is. Everything's great down here.
Cool.
What's going on over there?
No, good. Just continue to let her put it in for you. Couldn't find
True.
anything. So, yeah, man, everything's good, man. Al, how's it going?
Man, I'm going good, brother. It's good to be here. Just having a good day, having a good week. Good to be here. So, what up, everybody? What up, fellas?
No doubt. Cool. Yosh, what's good, my man?
What up, man? Been an up and down week. Just recovered. I recovered on yesterday from my loss in the playoffs, third round. But we ain't go out like no suckers now. We lost 97-92 in overtime.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My boy scored 32. I'm sorry, not 32. Excuse me. Not 32. He scored 62 and 23 rebounds. So
62
and 23.
And 23 rebounds. I'm gonna drop that link in the Defy Life on the Defy Life page later on this evening so that y'all can click on it. I'm gonna put it on the web page. My man Wayne's World. If you haven't had a chance, Wayne's World is one of the best videographers in the state of South Carolina, probably in the country. He did a nice little joint on it, and the amazing thing about this 62, he only shot 1 3-pointer the whole night and didn't even make that. So, and Pooh, you'll appreciate this. Prior to the game, in the fourth block, he was actually going through all of Michael Jordan's games, and he watched a lot of the 60-point games, which made it like so odd. And then not only that, but you know how like kids would get a bunch of points, or like when Kobe dropped that 80, like you could see he was going for 80. If you watch the game, if you was in the, like nobody knew he had 60 until the newspaper article came out. I didn't even know because we lost. I didn't check the book, and I was like, yo, he might have had 40, and you know, it's whatever, we lost. And then the newspaper article came out, and then my phone started ringing. Like, yo, you know, your boy really dropped 62? So I went and grabbed the scorebook, and when I grabbed the scorebook, he had 62. Wow. And I was just like, yo, that's berserk. He went nuts, and he just refused to lose. Although we lost, he just refused to lose. So that, and then today is my grandmother's birthday, and those who know me know my grandmother was like my everything. So, you know, she's no longer with us. She's been gone for about 2-3 years now, and it's always a tough day for me. But, you know, it's been ups and downs over the last week. But as always, happy to be on the show. Going to bring as much brightness as I can bring. Say as much shit that y'all got a sense of me for as possible. and bring that trivia tonight, because it's going to be a very informational trivia.
Okay. All right. Well, it's good to have you here. Yeah, man, we proud of the season you and your guys put together, and salute to all you guys. And you know, it's another step in towards the ultimate goal. So to you and Al and Pooh, man, proud of what y'all do as coaches, man. Takes a special breed to stick with that year after year and enjoy that. So salute to you, gentlemen. Yeah,
first time in my career ever making it that far. So
and Yosh, you shared a message from one of your players in terms of what you meant to him as a coach and the experience. And you know, I just know most of us coaches, that's why we coach. You know,
man. I mean,
to have that type of impact on a child. So regardless of your season, regardless of the records, the fact that you got another young man out there to respond like that to you, and I'm sure he's just, you know, a reflection of the other players as well. You know, I just think it was a successful season. So hopefully that'll lift your spirits, because at the end of the day, that's exactly why we coach.
Yeah, and I think that gets lost in it all, man. I think that a lot of coaches go after wins and don't really don't really understand that we do this because I'm trying to come with her, like, we care. Mm-hmm. And we want, like, a coach has a special bond with a kid. Mm-hmm. Like, we can get a kid to do stuff that their parents can't get them to do.
I agree. I got parents texting me, and again, I just coach rec basketball, so I don't have the type of time and interaction and length of time that, you know, coaches as you go higher up do with a player. But even in my 3 hours of interaction with the kid, I got parents texting me like, yo, when he comes to practice, can you talk to him about his grades? Can you? And I'm like, yo, so to me, like, it's a great honor to have that role. And again, just to, you know, when I read that, it was just like, yo, that's what's up.
But the funny thing about that, Al, is only coaches could really appreciate what that kid said to me in that text message. You know, and you know, a few other people, but the actual people who are not in that world like that all the time, like, shoot, you know, like I said on the last show, one of my former players just got shot and killed. You know what I mean? And he told me all the time that, yo, coach, man, it wasn't your fault, man. I chose this life. He used to tell me that all the time. He said, you tried to change me, you tried to help me, but I chose this. And it's almost like he was okaying the fact that he was living that life, but acknowledging the fact that, yo, somebody was trying to help me.
Yep.
But I made a conscious decision. This is on me. And a lot of times, a lot of these kids, they don't acknowledge the fact, they don't put none of the onus on themselves. And I think that if we're going to be out here trying to save our community, trying to save these young people,
yep.
You know,
you gotta hold them accountable.
You got to hold them accountable. You got to teach them how to hold themselves accountable. And as that, we have to be men that hold ourselves accountable.
I agree.
And lead by example. But I ain't going to get too deep on here, because then I can't be funny later. Yeah, go ahead.
Two quick stories to change the mood a little bit. So one, I have my last practice tonight, and I'm about to get the boys. Every time we start each practice, we do a little circle at the middle of the court to just kind of go over what practice is going to be like and review some of the games. So I'm about to dismiss them so they can do some laps around the gym. And one of my players, he's an 11th grader, but I've been coaching for about 4 or 5 years. He's like, hold on, coach, I want to say something. He's like, yo, so I just want to apologize to my teammates because I went off on y'all, Sunday's game. And, I know I disappointed coach. He spoke to me afterwards, and I don't have to treat y'all like that. It all came out of me wanting to win. But either way, I shouldn't have went off on y'all like that. And I'm just like, yo, real talk? Like, that's what's up. Like, I don't give a damn what we do for the rest of the night. But that type of leadership and accountability is exactly what we're trying to get out of our players. But here's a funny story. So Sunday, as I'm leaving for the game, I tell my mother-in-law, like, all right, I'm leaving, about to go to my game. So she was like, yo, what's the record of your players? I said, well, one team is we were 8-1 going into that game. And then the other team were 2-7 going into that game. So she was like, hold on, wait. You got a team that's 2-7? I was like, yeah, that's my young boys. They've been taking it rough this shit. She's like, is that a reflection on the coach? Hold up, shawty. What you gotta say? You gotta say I suck? Oh.
Hey, no.
Like they want to cancel that out.
Hey, Al, you know the saying, players win games, coaches lose games.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the saying. Like, if it's a win, the players did it.
Good job, players.
Good job, players. Y'all played your hearts out. If it's a loss, it was coach's fault. He should have did this. He should have did that.
Yeah.
It's the world we live in, man. It's the world we live in.
No doubt. Yeah, man. Well, again, a salute to you, gentlemen, man. Al, how much longer you got in your season?
Playoffs. So regular season ended this weekend. My younger team, 14 and under, we got our first game is Thursday, and if we win, we play Friday, and then championship is Saturday. My 18 and under team, we were the first place team, so we don't have any games this week. We just play in the championship. So, yeah.
Congrats. Good luck to you, bro.
Appreciate you, man. We'll see how it goes, but
hopefully you get somebody to drop that 62.
Yo, I'm saying I'm gonna bring that up. Which one of y'all gonna ball out tonight? Looking forward to it because this is, the regular season is cool, but the tournament is where the real fun begins because this is what it's all about. So, I mean, not all about. You want to have fun and you want them to get better and all of that. It's about that too. But at the end of the day, we competing to see who's the best. So, looking forward to this week.
Definitely. All right. Well, let's go and jump into some news tidbits. First off, Colin Kaepernick was approached by the Alliance of American Football, so the AAF, and the XFL, which is they're starting up next year. He told both of them, "Pay me $20 million, I ain't playing." So they asked him what did it take for him to play. His request was $20 million per season. The Alliance, I'm not sure if anyone's not aware, but every player in the league has a standard 3-year contract for $250,000 a year with medical benefits. So Kaepernick is asking for 80 times that. Al, what were your thoughts when Cap asked for $20 million from an upstart league?
Well, first of all, my first thought wasn't this the same league that had trouble making payroll? Like, didn't some owner had to jump in and throw some money on the table so that they could make payroll? So it was just kind of like, okay, that's funny. Like, ask the broke guy to borrow $1,000. Okay, but but then after I got past that, the truth of the matter is, he is a draw.
Right.
And you ask for what you are worth. So while they might not have it, I ain't mad at you for asking for it and knowing your worth and saying, if you want me to play, I know I'm bringing heads to the table. Give me that 20 mil or I ain't interested. So I ain't mad at him myself.
Right. Yeah. What were your thoughts when Kaep asking for the 20 mil?
I promise you, Al took the words right out of my mouth. Know your worth. You know that, and he has himself, estimated at that dropping point. So I mean, draw your line in the sand and hey, take nothing less. Do your thing. That's my point on it.
No doubt. Yosh, what are you thinking?
Well, I think we're all in agreement here, man. Like, at the end of the day, I'm bringing value to your league. And if I'm bringing value, then you got to pay me what I'm worth because you're going to make the bread. You're going to pay me whatever, but you going to make the bread. The real money is going to go to y'all. So although people might be broke or whatever, somebody going to pay me this money because personally, I feel like he asked for the 20 mil because he going to end up getting it out of an NFL team anyway at some point. So at the end of the day, he going to have a job regardless because shit, he better than 50% of the damn quarterbacks in the NFL anyway. Right now, at least he boosts ticket sales for whatever club picks him up. So he knows his value. He's a smart businessman. I don't know if it's him or his team, but whoever it is a smart play. Like it's a smart business play because he's still getting that bread from Nike. He just settled with the NFL. I don't need your money, but if you want me to play, I'll take that 20 mil.
All right. Yeah. And Nike just made a Colin Kaepernick jersey with no team on it and sold out in a week.
Exactly.
They sold out in a week. So by those projections, he would have been the highest selling jersey in the NFL. So he's definitely a draw. He's definitely going to, boost the value of your league. And you asking me to, step into an upstart league. I'm not sure. Have y'all watched any of the AAF games?
I have not.
Not yet. I haven't had a reason to yet.
All right. So I watched a couple just flipping channels like, oh, shit, it's football on. Let me at least check out this league, see how it is. And the two things that stood out the most to me were the lack of quality offensive line play and the lack of quarterback play. So if you asking me, as Colin Kaepernick, to come play in your league and risk my life behind them shitty offensive linemen and immediately come in and be better than heads and shoulders better than any quarterback you got in your league already. Oh, you gonna pay me? And
but wait. Also, Jay, to piggyback on that, shitty offensive line play, shitty quarterback play, but the rules are set to benefit. It's not the same because they're trying to boost the viewership. It's kind of old school rules where you can hit and for real.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely.
And so now I'm putting my welfare at risk for $250,000.
All right.
Nah, bro. Not when I'm worth more than that sitting on this couch.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you, like Al said, if his ultimate goal is to get back to the NFL, that's going to be the starting point. That's the going rate for a starting NFL quarterback now. And and so why play for less? And it's just funny, like to see the other screaming talking heads on on internet comment boards, people that can't stand Kaepernick. And like we talked about when the guy the other week, his sporting goods store was shut down because he took Nike out of his store. People don't understand the kind of support that Colin Kaepernick has. They just think he's a man on the island and nobody's there to support him. And so people that's crying, nobody cares about him anyway, just stop talking about him. Like, nah. So, for that very reason, like I was telling Pooh, Scott regular Scott from Taking Knee from Marvel in DC, posted on Facebook today that, somebody asked him if Colin Kaepernick was the Jackie Robinson of our time. And he was like, "Nah, I don't agree. I don't think so. He would never go. He'll never go through what Jackie Robinson went through back in the day. It's just not the same." And while I do agree it's not apples to apples, I can see where somebody would go with that comparison. And so me and Scott going to do a 10 spot on it, so I won't speak too much on it. But yeah, I mean, you know, as far as him asking for $20 million, again, know your worth. And I know we all know, anytime somebody asks me to negotiate, I'm starting high. It's up to them whether they want to counter. And so if they never got back to me and say, "Hey, will you take 15? Will you take 12? Will you take 10? That's on them. But I'm starting where I'm starting at.
But here's the thing.
He doesn't need the money, right? So
no.
Anybody who doesn't need the money and they are currently unemployed, if someone offers you a job, whether you're making 30, you've been making 30, 40, 60,000, 100,000, 3 million, whatever your current rate is. If someone offers you a job that's like, "Yo, I know you don't need the money, but we got this opportunity for you to work," you're not going to say, I was making 80,000 last year, but since you called me and you only pay people $8 an hour, right. just go on and give me $8 an hour. I'm cool. I know I was making 80 grand, but I'll make 16,000 because you asked me. No, like you're gonna say, "Yo, well, here's my rate. I understand what y'all pay, but if you want my services, this is what I'm used to making because I don't need the money. You came to me." So I think people are reacting to your point, Jay, out of how they feel about Kaepernick, but they're not really applying logic that any person in terms of getting compensated, how they would operate, which is, if this is what that's why people ask when you come up to a job, "Yo, what's your pay history? What's your salary history?" You know what I mean? And his salary history is, "I make millions of dollars. That's my salary history." "Oh, well, we're going to give you 250. Nah, kid, you don't want me then. You know, you ain't trying to hire me. That's crazy.
Yeah. And so, yeah, man, I got no qualms with him, asking for what he feels he's worth. And even if the going rate for his services right now is not what he's asking for, shit, it don't hurt to ask. So.
Nope.
On that. And again, like we always say, people think, he's an unemployed quarterback who's hard up for money and he's playing this game of cat and mouse. But that's the truth of the matter is he don't need the money. They came to him.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, man. Another one of our beloveds, Spike Lee, man, won his first Oscar. How crazy is that Spike Lee never won an Oscar, first of all? So salute to Spike, winning an Oscar for Black Klansman. Long overdue. But with that, Spike Lee winning his first Oscar. Pooh, what's your favorite Spike Lee movie? Just favorite Spike Lee joint.
Oh boy, I can go on and on and on and on, but I'm not. Just when you think of Spike Lee, it's hard not to jump out there with, do the right thing and things of that nature. But I would have to say Malcolm X, because I watch Malcolm X like every time it's on, every time I just think about it, I just pop it in. So I'm gonna have to go with Malcolm X.
Yeah, our first apartment, Malcolm X stayed on repeat. Remember that? The VHS version of Malcolm X, man. We watched that movie so many times.
Right.
Yeah. Yosh, what's your favorite Spike movie?
Like that, I feel like Pooh. I think that it's almost like you can't go wrong with Spike Lee movies, because it's like everything was each movie was more powerful than it. Like, it was so much to scratch beneath the surface. Mm-hmm. If you looked deeper, if you were apt enough to look deeper. And, Malcolm X is definitely probably at the top of my list. Do the Right Thing is right there just because of the race relations and stuff within it. And I think that people can't get past from what some people say is simple comedy, so to speak. But it was so much to it. and so deep like that. It's just you just can't like. And there's so many. You talking about He Got Game, Mo Better Blues, Crooklyn, which is one of the top ones for me. And Jungle Fever. One closest to me, I think the one that was closest to me, and although it came out long before it became close to me, was School Days.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
School Days was like really, really close to me. Like Last Hustle in Brooklyn. It's just so many of these Drop Squad. It's so many movies that you can name the best man. Like it's so many of them that Spike Lee has something to do with, that it is a crime. It is a complete another crime that he has not had one before now. It's just a crime. And it's funny. What is it? Denzel had to be crooked before he took it. Yeah. You know them lines. Shoot, he had to have a black man play a Klansman.
Right. Yeah.
To get an Oscar. Like, come on, man. Like, Malcolm X wasn't worthy of an Oscar? Really?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do the Right Thing wasn't worthy of an Oscar? If you go back and look at it. Just look, if you look at his history of filmmaking, and it's not only that, it's the longevity, it's the consistency of the quality of work that, like, for you to ask me to name my favorite, like my number one, I can't. There's no way for me. He Got Game deserved one.
Yeah.
It was so many. Mo Better Blues definitely deserved one. And it's just, he just never was able to. And for those of us who think that Inside Man was not good, watch it.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Inside Man was nuts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
this ain't no bank robbery. Yeah.
This ain't no bank robbery. And that's the thing. And I think for us to sit here and go, yeah, we rejoicing, but it should be like, yo, this is just another thing. And I don't like playing the race card. I swear I don't. It's not one thing I do. I don't try to instill that in my students. Don't try to instill it in my players, because I think it somehow cripples them. Like, you gotta look at society and be like, yo, bruh, like, seriously? Like, these movies weren't good movies because they were black movies or African American movies. These were well written, well directed, well produced, well acted movies that had a deeper meaning. But you gave shit to the Blair Witch Project. It's bullshit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just being real. Like, like, y'all, it's crazy. Like, when I thought of the question, I had to go back and I had to look at the movies and be like, all right, well, maybe that. Okay, no, that one. And I just couldn't come up with one. And every time I came over to the crib, Malcolm X was in the joint. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, like I'm a real big Malcolm X fan. So, like, that movie was dope. Even Bamboozled was what considered a whack movie, but if you really scratch the surface behind it, which is what we should be doing, which is what Spike Lee is known for, is not for what you watching, it's for what you not watching, because there's so much that's not said within that. And I guess it might be the English person in me, that I'm really analytical, so I'm always looking at a movie for the deeper meaning rather than entertainment. And like I said, I have yet to watch a bad Spike Lee movie. And so for him to take this long to get to it, it's just, I'm happy for him. I rejoice, but it's just telling you to say it's really another thing that says we got so much further to go than where we are right now.
Yeah. Al, can you pick one?
Yes, without a doubt. All right. Well, first, let me say, hands down, without a doubt, Spike Lee is my favorite filmmaker of all time. Yeah. And to me, all time, to me, he represents what a black filmmaker, not an African American, no, a black, somebody who has that consciousness, a black filmmaker should be about. So he's not just about making quality. And I agree with everything y'all said, right? He's not just about making quality, consistently good films every time out, which he's done from the beginning, right? He's not just about that, but he's also about trying to educate, tell stories, trying to introduce things to the black community and the broader community that really we should be talking about. So when I think about, well, the other thing I want to say, not just that he's my favorite, but also that this is exactly why, which I'll talk about the fact that this is his first time. That's exactly why I say, fuck all of those award shows.
Fuck them all. Damn right.
No love for none of them, because for the last 30 years, my stance has been, y'all don't represent my interests, you don't represent my taste, and you are not showing love to the people like my constituents. So why am I showing you love, right? So that's really been, this is exactly why I've been giving them the finger since I was in college. Fuck all them motherfuckers, right? So when you think about what Spike has been about, and I just like think about some of the actors, right? Larry Fishburne, Denzel Washington, Wesley Snipes, Tisha Campbell, Martin Lawrence, Halle Berry, Samuel Jackson, Danny Aiello, Aiello, right? Him too, right? Radio Raheem, Ruby D, Oscar Davis, the Turturro brothers, all these folks. Not to say that they all got introduced, got their first act through Spike, but yo, these were people that in many ways got that boost in the black community, at least.
Think about this though, Al. Like Denzel Washington was acting before Spike got to him, but he ain't take off till Mo Better Blues now.
Exactly, right?
He ain't take off, and then he really ain't hit, if people really pay attention, until he got Game. And like all of these little joints that came out that Spike Lee just dropped, like that's when you saw the versatility in actors, because he would, if you was a good actor, he'd pull you back in. All right, look, you gonna play a different part. He didn't typecast you. Yeah, he didn't typecast you. Like you might be somebody this one, you might be a deadbeat daddy on this one, but on this one you a jazz musician.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was able to pull out the best piece of talent out of whoever he was working with. It just,
think about,
my bad.
Now, no, it's good. You good. So those are the actors, but now think of the subjects that this brother has covered: historically black colleges, jazz, interracial dating and marriage, police brutality, race relations, crack, drugs, Malcolm X, the Million Man March. To say that this brother has a breadth of content interest would be an understatement. And while he wasn't the first black filmmaker, right? So he stands on the shoulders of black filmmakers before him. He was definitely at a time where being a black filmmaker was rare and difficult. And it still is to a certain extent, but nothing like it was in the 80s as he's coming out and like getting his name out there and becoming the popular dude that he is. So just and the fact that he named his company 40 Acres and a Mule.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, that shows you where the brother's at right there. Because just because I want y'all to, if you don't know, you need to ask, what the hell is he asking? Why he named it 40 Acres and a Mule? What is that? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So just to do something subtle like that, so that you will forever be teaching this idea that they never gave us shit. What was 40 Acres and a Mule? That was the shit they promised us, and they never gave us that. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, I get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that to me is what black filmmakers should be about. So all of that to say, while I love all the movies that y'all mentioned, and Malcolm X was a fabulous film. All of them was fabulous film. My favorite, though, sentimental favorite, is Get on the Bus.
Yeah.
I think part of it is the black male, like just all of the issues of black males that are covered in that trip. Like, I thought that was just phenomenal. But the fact that I was at the Million Man March and just to be a reminder of how powerful that day was and the impact it had, like that to me would be my favorite. Get on the Bus. And another, like, you know, if you don't watch it, if you never watched it, it never got any critical acclaim, or, you know what I mean? So it might have just like, what the hell is Get on the Bus? I need to check that out, because you might have missed that one. But another consistent, well done production by Spike Lee, and salute to him. But, you know, in my book, it validates nothing, because, you know, shame on y'all. That, if anything, it just highlights that y'all are full of shit. That's really what it's just like. Oh man, you just reminded me how full of shit you are, because it took this long to recognize this brother. So you know what? Yeah. Whatever.
And then not only that, but let's not be remiss of, you know, his ability to act.
Right? Yeah. True.
Like, he could act. Like, you was in these movies like, yo, and Malcolm X, he played Shorty. Like, you was like, damn, he playing the hell out of that part. You know what I'm saying? In School Days.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was really, like, he really can act. And it's just, he's so versatile. And like you said, it just highlights the travesty and injustice that has been set behind. Like, that's why I don't watch that. I don't watch them joints. You know what I'm saying? Like, I happened to see a meme. I think it must have been Monday morning. I think Samuel L. had gave him a hug or whatever. And I was like, yo, what happened? What's going on in this picture? I didn't even know what was going on, because I didn't know. Because I don't watch that stuff. There's a teacher I work with that actually took the day off because he watches the Oscars every year. And he stays up so late watching this and that. He needs a recovery day. So he takes off the next Monday.
Wow. Like,
that's how much into these award shows he is. You know, don't need to say what ethnic, what is I'm looking for? What ethnicity he is, but we could only guess. Yeah. But, you know, I'm just like, you know, like, you had to take a day off that. And we got to be are they okay with that? And we got to, you know, I got to come in to work after the Super Bowl. You know, but anyway, I digress. I'm just saying, like, for everything that Spike Lee has accomplished, for everything that he's accomplished, for after all of this time, what was it? One of his first movies was in what, like 1970 something?
She's Gotta Have It was when?
She's Gotta Have It was the first one that I remember being public. When I see, but he did a barbershop film,
and that's 1986. Let's say 1986.
Yeah, that's what
year
right.
we in? We in 2019.
Yeah,
and he has had timeless, like, I'm talking about classic after classic after classic after classic after classic. You know, it has just been bangers. And, you know,
to the point where some of them are now being remade. Like, Netflix just remade How She's Gotta Have It as a series, and it's dope.
Oh yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. And guess what? They got to pay him that bread.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And you just give him an Oscar, but, you know, we can go all night on that, because I could rip down all of these movies and just be like, and have a good old time. Y'all about to have me pull some of them up and put it on while we recording right now?
Yeah, but I'm definitely with y'all, man. It's, you know, it's a damn shame that he's had to, like, wait this long for something that obviously means a lot to him. You know, because regardless of how we may feel about the Oscars or the Emmys or the Grammys, like, that's his line of work. So I'm sure that meant a lot to him. And that's something that, you know, that's an aspire to for him, I'm sure, since the beginning of his career, before the beginning of his actual career. So, salute to Spike, man. It's so many. I'm like y'all. It's hard for me to name one. And for him to be as self-made as he is, like he really, he really like the first movie he made, the one you said about the barbershop. I forgot the name of it. But he took the earning. He's used his own money to make that film. Used the money from that to make She's Gotta Have It. And just kept growing from there, and actually started his own production company, his own film company. And Yoshi mentioned
had a T-shirt, had a clothing line.
Had a clothing line.
Had a clothing line in Brooklyn. Had a 4 acres and a mule store in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
he was an entrepreneur.
Right.
Is an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and Yoshi mentioned The Best Man, like Malcolm Lee, the producer of that. Is Spike's cousin. He said when he was growing up, Spike lived in their basement. When he got out of college, he was like, it was just my cousin. He was going to film school. He stayed in our basement. Next thing I know, he's fucking Spike Lee. Like, that was just my cousin. And so when it was, when he graduated film school, he went to Spike like, I want to do what you do. And Spike gave back and reached back and helped him get to where he was, and actually referred a lot of those actors to him for that movie. So he's got his hand, like he's one of the few directors and producers that has his tree. He has a fucking producer, like a coaching tree, in the NFL. So like he's got a tree of people who's branched out from him. Denzel was the guy. David Jenner Smith, I think that's his name. He the light-skinned dude who's in all of Spike's movies. The Mookie, that guy.
Oh yeah, okay.
All right, him. He's a producer. So Spike's got his own tree. So he's a jewel in our community, and it's a damn shame that it took them this long to respect his work in the manner that it should be respected. But man, shout out to Spike. He's a treasure.
Jay, give me that one more time.
What's that?
That Mookie.
Mookie. Damn right.
Hey, class.
That was the shit. And for the longest, I hated that dude. I used to hate him in every movie he was in. Because he always played some slick talking jackass. But he's a great actor. I guess but over time, I realized it's a sign of a great actor is somebody who can make you hate them just from their acting skills. So, but man, shout out to Spike, man. I'm glad you're happy, and it's funny, the picture that you're talking about, Yosh, where he's jumping up in Samuel L's arms. You see, he got his purple and gold Jordans on, and which is another aspect that we didn't even touch on. That
I forgot about that. Mars.
Right. We didn't even touch on the impact he had. And it's funny, I was just watching that. I don't know if y'all have Hulu, but Hulu just released a documentary called Unbanned, the history of the AF1. The AJ1, the Air Jordan 1. And so it was just talking about the impact of that shoe. And so Spike's. Yeah, so exactly. So that's another area that he's touched, and nobody did shoe commercials back in the day. Spike invented that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, to that extreme. To actually take filmography and make it a story in multiple cameras and different camera angles. Like, Spike invented that for shoe commercials. Nobody was doing that. Like, Converse did it
and think about what he was promoting, by doing that, right? So his character was an urban hip-hop dress. You know what I mean? You didn't see a lot of that in Nike commercials at that time. So, to bring that onto the stage, that character, he could have been a well-dressed, his Michael Jordan's agent. You know what I mean? He could have been anything, but nah, this is the character that I'm a put on this film to interact with Michael Jordan, and he's that dude. He's that.
So, man, salute to Spike. Definitely my favorite too, Al. And full disclosure, so Al as a kid watching Spike Lee and do the right thing and just being You know, the dude from Brooklyn, the cool like dude from Brooklyn. He was always, even though I never had any like reason to think it, he was always a dude I grew up thinking, yeah, I think Al must know Spike Lee. Like he just seemed like a dude that would hang out with my cool ass cousin Al in New York. I don't know why. So as a kid, that was just one of my fantasies that like you knew Spike Lee.
That I was out there hanging with Spike.
Yeah.
Shit, I was probably out there imitating Spike.
But as a kid, like you think, yeah, my cousin in New York, everybody in New York know each other, so he probably knows Spike. Yeah. So, oh man. Well, on to our listener questions. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this may be the first time ever we have two questions from both of our questions are from female listeners.
Oh, word! That's what's up.
Yeah, and damn good questions. First one's really good. Second one's fucking hilarious. So let's get to these. First, from Paula in Macon, Georgia. Yosh, Paula wants to know. Said LeBron just became the only player in NBA history in the top 10 in points scored and assists. How can people still deny his greatness? That's from Paula. Yosh, what you got to say about it?
I would like to recluse myself from this discussion and this question. I have an answer, but it is the unpopular answer at the present moment. So I will recluse myself.
No, you ain't getting off that easy. Like you can't
it is the unpopular answer at the current moment. It would cause great debate, and we don't have that much time on the show because I'm trying to save my show. I'm trying to save my time for trivia.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm not going to. And I see Thomas has departed from our podcast for the current moment. But this disclaimer, as with a few prior ones, is I would like to just, before I start an argument that causes me to get on my Google and have to look up shit, let me just, Michael Jordan is the greatest to me. That's it. We ain't got to discuss it. That's it.
Hey, when you don't have a real argument, you just say I ain't gonna talk about it, I guess.
Oh, you CJ, like I just said, I wasn't going goddamn. CJ, see what you do? See, this is the reason why we got problems on the show now. Because you say shit like that, and then we got no. You right. Matter of fact, Jay, I'm hit you with what I hit people with in an argument. You right, I'm wrong. I'll shut up.
I ain't say. I was just saying that's the kind of comments you gonna get from me when you duck questions. So, Al.
Yes, sir.
Same question to you from Paula. LeBron is now the only player in NBA history top 10 in points scored and assists. Why do people still deny his greatness?
Well, first, let me say this little disclaimer. I'm not saying this just because LeBron is a Laker fan. I mean, he's a Laker now, and I'm a Laker fan, and I have just adjusted my perspective towards LeBron. I would have said this a year ago, which is, who is out there denying his greatness? Like, legitimate folk. Like, I'm not talking about the barbershop arguments or the crazy cousins who's just going to say shit just to say shit. We ain't talking about them. We talking about legitimate folk.
Well, it's Paula's question, so I'm sure Paula may be talking about them crazy cousins. And them
okay, Ron, now, if it's the crazy cousins, the answer is they fucking hate us. Like, they just hate us. That's just the only way you can, at this stage of the game, deny LeBron is a great NBA player on the court and has proven to be a great individual off the court. If that's not your assessment of this man right now, that he's great, I think you're tripping. Now, if the question was, and I had to read it twice. Now, why are they denying him as the greatest? Now, that's a different conversation.
Yeah, and that's debatable.
I think he's proven to be a great player.
Right.
Undeniably. I wouldn't even. It'd be hard for me to engage in a conversation with someone who was saying, "Yo, you know LeBron ain't great, right?" What? You know what? Neither is Spike Lee, huh?
And I'm not sure if she did it on purpose, but the wording of that question, because and we've been there before. Our next question is one of those reasons we've been there before, but we've been on calls all night and took in almost entire shows debating on who's the greatest, which is an answer you'll never get definitively, not between a group of folks. So for her to ask it this way is deny his greatness instead of deny that he's the greatest, takes that debate out of it. Because to me, I always tell people, like, it's okay to have an and in a debate. It's okay to say they're both great, or all three of them are great, all five, whoever you're talking about. It's okay to say they're all great. You're never going to get to an agreement amongst everybody, amongst the greats.
Well, Jay, I don't think anybody, in the way she phrased the question, in the way she framed the question, I don't personally believe anybody denies. This is me personally.
People do.
I don't personally believe anybody deny LeBron's greatness, because although there's a debate between him and Jordan, and when it comes down to it, with the plethora of people that have played the game over the history, because even those that say Michael Jordan is the greatest because he's got 6 rings, they discount Bill Russell and his 10. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what, there's always that debate over the greatest. But the fact to deny greatest, the fact that you're in the conversation and there's a debate with who's considered that, and you're on that plateau, that means that I don't think anybody's really denying the greatness of a LeBron.
But it is, though. If we're being honest, I'm not saying you are, and I'm not saying any of us are, but we all know those people, whether we actually respect their opinion or not. There are people, and I think it holds weight to her question that why are even the people that we claim, like Al said, just crazy people that are just haters, people that don't know basketball, whatever it is, why are there still people out there who still hold that opinion?
Well, let me on my grandma's birthday, I'm gonna bring up a saying that she used to have. You cannot apply logic to illogical people.
True.
At the end of the day, like we're trying to sit here and go, people, just what you said, Jay, people who don't know basketball are going to deny the fact that LeBron is great. Well, hell, you don't know basketball. That's like sitting here watching a football game with a girl that don't know what the fuck she's talking about with a football game, and trying to tell you what team she going for. I'm with the team that's wearing blue. Ain't no team on the field got blue on. That's teal color is a shade of blue. No, see, I can't even talk to you at this point. That's what having a conversation with somebody who doesn't know that LeBron is great is like. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't even, he is a great player. He is a transcendent player. He is a player that is a man amongst boys since he was in middle school. And I think what it is, a lot of the time, the haters come from and although I am a person who loves Jordan, a person who feels that Jordan is the greatest and loves to argue that, I think that a lot of the hatred comes from how early LeBron was anointed without accomplishing anything. And you know how people love to hate on people that they feel are not accomplished. And it's almost like, dog, like, don't hate on the kid because he's good. Because shoot, if you watch him throughout high school, shoot, you knew he was going to be great. And you just knew it. So there's no way to deny it unless you're just an all-out, unadulterated hater who, like, your sole purpose in life is to hate on LeBron. And
speaking of which, Thomas Stevens is back. Thomas.
He figured out how to press the green button that says join.
It was quite convenient that you left on this question, but welcome back, sir.
I'm restarting my computer now. I don't know what's going on.
Of course not. You don't.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
A conspiracy.
Right. So yeah, Paula wants to know, now that you back with us, she told us to wait on you actually. Paula wants to know, now that LeBron is the only player in NBA history in the top 10 in points scored and assists, why do people still deny his greatness?
I mean, I heard Yosh hit it. Yosh pretty much hit it on the head. You know, it's just that, like, he was just a man. Like, as soon as he walked in the league, he was definitely anointed. You know, almost instantly. The king and the king has arrived, and it was almost, you know, bestowed upon him without doing anything. So I guess it's hard for people to, like, I could get with him. I was cool. Like, yeah, Bron this, yeah, Bron that. You know, Bron, he's a tremendous athlete, tremendous player. But as soon as they brought up the argument, he's better than Mike. Then at that point, I began to sour on Bron. And I guess it's because it's like almost, I guess I can like him. It feels like I can't have my allegiance to Michael and still say this and that about him. And it's really silly. And I know it's silly. But I admire who he is and what he's done and the player he is on the court and the guy he is off the court. But I still have this little, you know, Mike's still my guy. You know, so that's how I feel about it. But I can't hate on what I see.
Okay.
You know.
A couple questions for you and Al, because y'all brought this. All three of y'all brought this up, and this is a real question. So, like, do you hate Magic Johnson? Do you hate Patrick Mahomes? Do you hate Peyton Manning? Because those are also, and I can go on with players who came into their respective league and have been anointed without accomplishing anything. So is that unique to LeBron, or is that across the board with just players that come into the league and have so much hype that they didn't ask for, by the way, that they're almost anointed when they come into their respective league? Do you hate all those guys, or is it just unique to LeBron?
Who you asking first?
Anybody. I'm spitballing.
Who were the athletes again? Because
Peyton Manning, Eli Manning. Yoshi ain't got to answer that one. But no, Peyton Manning.
Fuck Eli Manning.
Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Patrick Mahomes. I can go on.
But see, I don't think any of those players, right? Mahomes
Magic, is an MVP.
Let me finish. I don't think any of those players are being referred to as the best in the business over the people who are legitimately the best in the business. So Mahomes, no one's looking at him as, who's the best quarterback? Mahomes. Ain't nobody putting him above.
Most valuable player.
Wait. I don't think people are putting it. I don't think they put him over Rodgers.
Nah,
Brady.
Nah.
They literally just did by voting him most valuable player. You don't get, like, by definition, that's what they did.
But he had the best year.
No, but Jay, what you're saying is, like, all of those players you just named, like, all of them came in with hype, but none of them came in with what LeBron came in with.
Okay.
One of them, none of them came in with what he came in as, quote unquote, the king. It was anointed. And Peyton Manning came in with hype. Eli Manning came in with hype. Patrick Mahomes didn't even come in with as much hype.
Shaquille O'Neal didn't come in with that kind of. Shaq came in with that kind of hype.
Shaq didn't, not like LeBron, man. Like, LeBron was a circus. Like, that was a circus. That was a complete and utter. No, Shaq. I'm not saying Shaq wasn't big, but not like LeBron, where motherfuckers was following him from high school. they've been following his ass since, they've been anointing him since he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
What I'm saying is respective. What I'm saying is respective to the time that they came out, right? LeBron came out at the time where there was social media. There was a lot more coverage just because of the time. But relative to the time that they came into the league, I would say Shaq had just as much hype as LeBron.
But you also got to understand.
It's not the hype.
And the amount of anointing. Like, people were pissed. I don't know if y'all don't remember this, but people were pissed because people were saying that Shaq was already the best center in the NBA. People were saying
I don't remember that. I remember Olajuwon being the best center.
Best center, yeah.
Right.
And Olajuwon gave him them buckets. Olajuwon gave him them buckets.
I specifically remember that. I remember conversations of people saying, "Is Shaq was named in the top 100 players in NBA history in his 5th season in the league."
My only point, Jay, is, and I'm not saying they didn't get hype and they weren't put in as with some anointing and status. All I'm saying is my beef with the media that ultimately had me hating on LeBron was that I felt like, there was somebody legitimately as the best player in the league who's getting slighted for this guy who one day might be the best player in the league.
Agreed.
But at this point, Kobe's the best player in the league, is winning, and y'all are giving this guy that status. And I just think that was kind of whack. Now, I don't see that going on with these other players. As much hype, but Olajuwon was still seen as the best center.
And also, I will say this.
Conversation, but he was known as the best center.
And Jay, you brought up a point. You brought up a point that was big. Well, Jay, no. No, Jay. I wouldn't say it's amnesia, but I think that you bring up a point that's very, very important to this time. With the advent of social media, it has changed the way everything. Now, if Shaq came in with the same type of social media buzz, if social media was big then, when he came in, he would probably be on the same level as LeBron was.
That's what I'm saying, relatively speaking, now.
No, but we're not. But we weren't. But we weren't there. But what I'm saying is, but Jay, what I'm saying is that adds to. But what I'm saying is, Jay, that adds to the hate that is spewed upon LeBron is that social media push, that media push, that everyday debate show, First Take, goddamn skipping shit. All of that stuff adds to what he has gone through as far as the hatred that is spewed upon him, as far as his greatness is concerned, because it's so big and it's everywhere. It wasn't like that before. It wasn't like that when Shaq came into the league. It wasn't like that when Mike came into the league. It wasn't like that when Bird came into the league.
I get that, but you do get what I'm like.
No, I'm not saying I don't agree. I don't agree with what you're saying.
No, let me get the sentence out. What I'm saying is,
shit, I'm trying to. You're talking slow.
You disagreeing before I even say shit.
I didn't even disagree. You ain't even finished it.
Exactly. You jumping in and saying, I don't disagree with you, but
exactly.
So I do remember people having babies, having cows when Shaq was named to the greatest 100 players in NBA history after his 4th season in the NBA. And I don't get that same kind of vitriol towards Shaq or anyone else that I feel when people. So it's got to be more than that, is what I'm saying. It's got to be more than just he was hyped.
Maybe to your point, the social media, the promotion that LeBron experienced in relation to everybody else has made the hate greater. And I can imagine that when Shaquille was getting hated on, I can imagine Magic was getting hated on by the Kareem fans, by the Dr. J fans at the time. I can imagine Michael was getting hated on by the Bird fans, by the Magic fans as he's developing. My only point is, even as these players are developing with the hype that the league is giving them and the media is giving them, there was still a status of whose league is it? Who's the best player in the league right now? Who's winning? Who's you know what I mean? And so as Michael is getting through the league and beating Boston and beating Detroit, like he's earning that. And my point was, let LeBron earn it. And when he earns it, give it to him. But y'all are projecting it. And not to say that the projection was wrong, but if you had projected Michael in the late 80s, it wouldn't have been wrong, but he hadn't earned it yet.
But people were doing that, though.
And they, in my opinion, they were wrong.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. It's not.
That's
but
all.
but that's what I'm saying. It's not like you can't frame this as like LeBron's the only one that's ever happened to. That's why I did like him. So it's got to be more than that. Like you can't, because that's happened to other people. And so so this makes me ask this: if that's your frame around it, that LeBron's been the most hyped player you've ever seen, that's why he turned you off from him. I get that, although I don't buy it. To me, that's even more impressive because he's the only one I can think of with that much hype that's outlived the hype.
It wasn't the hype for me, just to be clear.
Well, even the project, whichever word you want to use, he's outlived and outperformed and out.
He hasn't. I mean, he has in that he has done exactly what they said he was going to do, which was be the best player in the game.
Yeah, then that's
not
even
ever,
if,
but
even
in the
if,
game.
Yeah, but even if he lived like you get what I'm saying when you're saying he's the most projected, highly projected, whichever word you want to use. The fact that he's gotten to where he was expected to be has to speak volumes. Even in
what volume is it though? Like,
but okay, so
like, I don't want to discredit him for anything. But to me,
I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question. You asked what volume it is.
Let me just clarify. And you can answer it. Let me just clarify my question. My point is just that all he's done.
Can you say it in Latin for me, please?
All he's done is proved the media right.
No,
I don't understand
all he's done.
how he gets credit for that.
Okay, good. I'm glad you said that. So, can I? Okay, so he doesn't get credit for living up to what the media projected, but he gets the blame and the vitriol and the hate for what the media projected on him when he first came.
Bro, let me be clear.
I'm asking. That's a
yes.
Okay,
that's wrong. That's wrong.
Okay, that's just be honest. That's all I'm asking. It can be bullshit and it can be crazy, but just be honest.
It wasn't appropriate. I was just giving you my reason for doing it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It never spilled towards him. Yeah, it's not his fault.
I ain't trying to convince you of what you did was right or wrong. I just want you to own up to it because now we get into the real answer to the question that was asked.
But
you can't tiptoe around the shit and be like, I kind of like him. It may be wrong, but nah, get to the real shit of what Paul is asking.
I've always been like, it ain't right for anybody to be people. It's not right. Like, I mean, like, of course it's wrong. I thought that was understood, I guess.
No, it wasn't said. So, I mean, Paula don't speak our language. I mean, she's a listener, so she may close to speak our language, but I'm sure she want to hear us legitimately answer her question. Not dance around.
It makes it's totally irrational, illogical that I would take how these media are lifting this 19, 20, 22-year-old up to be the greatest player in the game, even though there are other players who are actually winning and proving it on the court. For me to take their judgment and their promotion of this player and then allow it to impact how I feel about LeBron, of course, it's crazy.
Okay,
but
yeah, that's real. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's no judgment. I just want to, I'm sure Paula wants to know, and that made me want to know, the real, mental around it. Because I'm not absent from this. If you ask me this question about Brett Favre, I give you the same fucking answer. It don't make sense. I just hate the motherfucker. I don't know why. So I just want to know why. And if we gonna answer the question, let's answer the question. Pooh, you ain't gotta be nice.
I think it's different. I think it's different with different people because I said I said I didn't mind all the hype and X, Y, Z, but once it became a question and an argument that he's better than Michael, then I took it personal.
So yeah, it's like it's semi-sacrilegious to you that could ever be like that answer could that question could ever be approached. It's like somebody's better than Michael, so you turned on him.
Oh, I just didn't think that he was. Just like when it was Kobe, when they was in at the Kobe, I turned on Kobe because I didn't think that he was.
Well, yeah, so, I ain't saying it's just him, but I'm saying when that happens, because it's the only constant in this is Michael Jordan for you. It can be anybody else that they have their question about, but the only constant is Mike. And so when anybody else starts getting close to that mantle or perceived close to that mantle, you turn on them.
Agreed.
Okay. All right. So these are the reasons that. These are the reasons.
So we said that. We said that because people are haters.
No,
to be a hater.
Yeah, but we talking. So this is what I'm saying. It's like we getting deeper, we digging deeper, and we finding out really why without being so fucking nice about it.
But I've always said that though.
But Paula's asked the question now, ain't she?
Paula, you right, Paula. I'm bugging. But I've always.
She ain't asked the question when Keyonne was on. Speaking of,
well, I mean, can I say something real quick?
Do you think?
I ain't trying to disagree with you.
I'm just saying. No. I'm just saying. I just gotta say something. Like we've been on Paula question for about 23 minutes. That got to be a record.
No. Like. And we're about to get to the reason. That's far from a record, sir. But as we always say, Paula, damn good question. Especially
damn
when
good
you
question.
framed it. Because we always say when it gets to that 10, 15, 20-minute mark and we still on your question, you done touched something. And damn good question. So
and Paula, if you're cute, you can touch me anytime.
Wow.
God damn.
I just wanted to say that.
Shout out to Macon, Georgia.
Right. Oh man. So Tamara. I don't know Tamara. I'm gonna go with Tamara from Richmond, Virginia. Oh man. I hope you enjoy use of English because apparently you don't miss our former co-host, Mr. Keyonne Small. So, again,
I'm assuming you're not going to ask me.
Right, I'm not. All right. So, Al, Pooh, Tamara wants to know. Tamara from Richmond, VA. Do y'all ever miss Keyonne Small? She's speaking of.
Well, Jay. Jay, real quick.
Yeah.
Before Alan Pooh asks, before Alan Pooh answer, let me say this. Tamara, you can get it in the old question too. You can touch me as well.
Tamara gonna be asking for Keyonne back in any minute. Oh man. So, and that's saying a lot because apparently Tamara's not too fond of Mr. Small, our former co-host. But she does ask, do y'all ever miss Keyonne? Seems like the show runs much smoother now. Al, you miss Keyonne?
I mean, you got to think, without Keyonne, there's no Ric Flair jokes.
Yeah. No
without Keyonne, I ain't got no Falcon fan to pick on. So his absence is noted. Mm-hmm. So I mean, he brought a lot to the conversation. So of course I miss him, but in the sense of but it's more. I think a lot of it has to do with though. I would fuck with him a lot with that Ric Flair shit. So
yeah.
I thought that was kind of crazy to me. So he took some of my material. So I guess in some ways, yes, he took some of my good jokes.
No doubt. Yeah. Pooh, you miss Keyonne?
Well, short answer, yeah. I mean, I miss Key. He sparked controversy. and he sparked controversy, and he was a very intellectual person. The only thing that was wild, and I guess it was key. He just he was so he just looked at things with blinders a lot. Even though he was terribly wrong, he will argue with tooth and nail. And sometimes I would just listen to him, and him and Jay just argue for 30 minutes over something that Keyonne knew damn well it was wrong, and and no way it could be right, and he would argue and pull points. But I mean, I definitely I miss Key, but the show he was definitely long-winded, and it was hard to get some words in. I gotta state that. But we have money to pick up that slack now.
Right.
I mean, with both of them was on. It was like we could really talk.
Yo, that was the longest 4 weeks of my life when they was both on.
I mean, when they were both on, you were asking, is it sunny outside? And he'll go through on to this dissertation. Yo, bro, is it sunny or not? Yeah. But yeah.
Answer the question.
Yeah. I mean, I used to feel bad for you, Pooh, because there would literally be hours at a time where you never got a word in.
I just spoke. I just sat there and listened to the show.
It was like
I listened to the show without listening to the show.
Yeah, really. But yeah, I mean, I miss Keyonne, man. Because first and foremost, there's no more opportunities for me just to say some shit to get a rise out of somebody, even though I know it's bullshit and everybody else knows it's bullshit. But I say it just to get a rise out of him.
Right.
It sparks, like Pooh said, this 30-minute argument that I'm laughing the entire time, and he is heated.
Heated.
Yeah. Or for someone to say something so asinine that I get heated, and then we really arguing about some shit.
Right.
And for somebody to actually come on the show with a former WNBA player and say that women's basketball is not a real sport, that takes balls.
What was he thinking?
Man.
What was he thinking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, the audacity of Keyonne Small, I do miss. Yeah. But I do not miss getting off on every fucking show at 2 a.m. I do not.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, Tamara, I guess you happy now, considering your email and your follow-ups, and I emailed your email response to my response. I'm going out on the limb and saying she is happy, and she's a happier Defy Life listener. So shout out to you, Tamara, for the question.
Had me cracking up.
Yo.
Question had me cracking
up.
Keep them coming, y'all.
Yeah, y'all definitely keep them coming. Again, if you want any question answered, anything addressed on the show, you want to talk some shit about Rodney McDaniel anytime, just go back to episode 2. Anything. Y'all hit us up on social media at GoDefyLife, or you can email us at info@godefylife.com. Oh man, yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna take a break really quick. We are gonna jump into some NBA really quick, and then some NFL Combine, and then we are going to let Yosh handle us in trivia. So we'll be right back. Y'all wait for us.
What's up, sis?
What's up, sis?
What you doing?
Getting ready to give the people what they want.
What does that mean?
The Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with Lynn and Kim.
You mean our podcast?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, where can they hear us?
Well, they can check us out each week on the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with Lynn and Kim. Join us as we discuss the latest in everything from entertainment and current events to the craziness that is our real life.
Let's laugh, let's live, let's talk about it. And remember, anything can happen. Everything is relevant and nothing is off limits on Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with Lynn and Kim, powered by Defy Life.
Welcome back to episode 96 of the Defy Life Podcast. This is JR Glymph, joined by Alvin Glymph, Thomas Stevens, and Yosh, Yusuf English. Guys, we left off, got over some the listener questions. Again, y'all, keep them coming. We really, really enjoy those. But let's jump into some really quick NBA talk. I saw this conversation online, so I wanted to pose this question to you guys because they actually went back and listed all the missteps that Mr. Irvin Magic Johnson has taken since he's taken over control of the Lakers. And they simply asked the question, does Magic Johnson know what he's doing?
What were the missteps that they listed, out of curiosity?
First one was trading D'Angelo Russell and trading him too early. And now he's an all-star in Brooklyn. The next one, I ain't going to try to list them in order, but there was that. There was not trading any of that young core to the Indiana Pacers before Paul George was traded to OKC to try to get to try to get him, because Magic assumed that wherever he went, he was going to end up in LA anyway. So they misjudged that. Drafting Lonzo Ball instead of Jason Tatum, or who else was after Tatum? There was two, but yeah, basically drafting Lonzo Ball above
Mitchell was in that draft. Mitchell was in that draft.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell. Yeah. And so it was that, and then not doing everything he could to get Kawhi Leonard from San Antonio, and then now not being able to acquire Anthony Davis, and basically sitting on those young guys who many people assumed would blossom, and they haven't quite yet to entice someone of to entice a team like New Orleans to give up someone of the stature of Anthony Davis. So those are a few things that they named. Oh, and letting Julius Randle walk for nothing, and actually pulling his restricted free agent offer and letting him walk, and now he's having a career year. So just things like that. So, Al, I'll start with you. You are the supreme Laker fan. I'll ask it the way they asked it. Does Magic know what he's doing?
I think it's too early to tell. I think my assessments of a few of those transactions are different. So D'Angelo Russell was traded to clear cap space. So he was traded with somebody to clear cap space that ultimately was in thinking to get LeBron and Paul George this summer. So I think in the NBA, you got to often give something for a team to give up the cap space, and that's what the D'Angelo Russell trade was. The Randle move was similar. Like, they let him go, again, trying to clear cap space, thinking that, okay, we got LeBron going to come in to play power forward, and we trying to get Paul George. So, Randle, we got to relinquish your rights. Otherwise, if LeBron wasn't coming to the Lakers, Randle would have been a Laker this year. They were happy with his development, and you could see last year that he was becoming a good player. I like Magic Johnson, and a whole lot of people thought Paul George would ultimately come to the Lakers after spending some time with Westbrook, with Oklahoma City. Not necessarily with Westbrook per se, just being with any team. I thought his ultimate goal was to come to LA, and for the Lakers to bank on that and not do what the Knicks did with Carmelo and just give away your team to get this player, to give away a lot of your young talent to get somebody who ultimately is going to come there in 3 or 4 months like Carmelo was going to do. I don't think it was a risk that didn't turn out right, but I think it was a risk that made sense to me. So while some of them, I think, the Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, it would have been nice to get them here, but I think I still think the jury is out with this talent, and I like Ingram, I like Kuzma. Lonzo is up and down, but they're still so young. You know what I mean? Like I think Ingram's the oldest. I don't even know if he's 21 yet. So I mean, I just think it's so early to say if this young core is going to be good players in 4 years when they're 22, 23, 24 years old. I mean, I think the jury's out. So I think he's made some mistakes, but I look at some of the veterans he's brought in. They've pretty much played to what I would expect. I ain't got no problem with Magic.
Okay. All right. Pooh. Magic know what he's doing?
Wow. Draft-wise, drafting players, that's such a hit and miss. I mean, that dime a dozen, you get lucky, you don't get lucky. So I'm not going to really, I guess, stab at him with the draft, faux pas. But not going after Paul, not going after Kawhi, I think that hurt. I'm holding on to Lonzo and this guy. I'm not going to put these guys in the package to get Kawhi or Paul George. That, to me, that was totally insane. Does he know what he's doing? I think he does. However, I don't think he's player managing well at this point. So at this point, I'll probably give him a C+.
Okay. All right. Yosh. Magic know what he's doing, man?
I think it still remains to be seen. I think he's been in office, going on 2 years now? And, like you said, hit or miss. Nobody knew the boy from Utah. What's his name?
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell was going to be that. Like, nobody knew he was going to be that dude. And then, Jason Tatum had a lot of hype, but, you go back to, the Michael Jordan draft. A bunch of people missed on him. And, you go with what you think, like, what your scouts are telling you, what your gut is telling you, and 9 times out of 10, you go with your gut. In those people who are in executive positions. And I wouldn't say that he doesn't know what he's doing. I would say that he hasn't reached a point where I think although we can criticize the decisions, it hasn't been proven to not work quite yet. And I guess that's kind of in line with Pooh and Al. Like, we can't really say whether it's going to work or it's not going to work. Like, he didn't give up all that young talent for Anthony Davis, because I really believe that the Pelicans were just asking for a bunch of shit that they knew nobody would take because they wanted to keep Anthony Davis. I think he did botch the Paul George situation. I still think Kawhi Leonard is going to end up in L.A., whether it's with them or with the Clippers. That's up for debate. Right. But I do feel he's going to end up in L.A., but I do think he botched the Paul George situation. I do think that. But outside of that, if this young talent that they have kept ends up panning out, and like Al said, the Russell trade was for cap space to be able to have the opportunity to sign LeBron. And apparently they knew they were going to get LeBron. So, do you D'Angelo Russell or LeBron? What's your choice? You go with the obvious. And is this young talent, the question is this young talent going to map out to be what people think, what he thinks they're going to be? Because apparently he didn't think they were worth giving up for Anthony Davis. So that means he has faith. He offered him. So what happened with? and then I'm wrong. Then
Yeah, by that time, New Orleans was just like, nah, we ain't trading Anthony Davis.
Yeah, like I said, I think New Orleans just didn't want to trade Anthony Davis from the start. Like I think it was like, yeah, give us all of that and the moon and the sun and your wife, and yeah, you do that shit, we'll give you Anthony Davis. And they was like, all right, we'll give it to you. And it's like, no, add your kids. Okay, we'll give you my kids. No, that's not enough. We want your house. Here's the house. And they were just like, basically, they didn't want to give up Anthony Davis.
Yeah. From
the start. So I think they felt slighted by him. They felt like it was a power move by him. So he wasn't going nowhere regardless. So at the end of the day, they're going to lose out on him. But, you know, kind of is what it is. I think Magic's doing the best that he can do with the cards that he's been dealt so far.
What was the catalyst for the Indiana trade? Was it Ingram? Like they really was bent set on
Ingram.
Ingram.
They wanted Ingram. Shit, if I'm trading with them, I want Ingram.
Yeah, but I'm saying for Paul George, you do that deal in a heartbeat though. For Paul George,
not if you think that you're going to get Paul George in free agency anyway.
But you never know. That's why you got the
that's why you some
you never know why. Why leave it for chance? You can't leave it for chance.
But my thing is, I personally
you don't even know if
believe
he's gonna sign with you and stay with you.
No, I understand that, but you don't make. I'm gonna be honest. Like these are smarter people than us, right? So there's no way we would assume. We would assume.
Right.
Like on backdoors and backdoor channels, there was some conversation had off the books that was like, yo, like we could push this trade through, but if you gonna come, we ain't gonna push this trade. And somebody probably said, yo, nah, man, yo, shit. If you could keep him, we'll ride this out, and then we'll come in whatever. And then OKC swept in and said, fuck that shit. We'll give up whatever. And he just fell in love with it.
They didn't even give him nothing, though.
But your mind might change though, bro. Like you know that.
But what's the old saying? One in the hand
is better than two in the damn bush.
Two in the bush. What make that deal? Make that deal.
Hey, you know what your people say about chickens?
What they say?
Until they hatch, they just eggs that can be scrambled up for breakfast.
Yes, sir.
Don't count them motherfuckers.
You can't. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, De'Aaron Fox. That was the other guy he chose, Lonzo Ball.
Yeah. He just not. He coming into his own though.
Yeah.
Fox.
Yeah.
But I think ball gonna be solid though.
You smoking something?
How long we been saying that, man?
I think
we've been saying this since Keyonne was on here,
bruh.
And didn't he get banged up? Wasn't he playing good ball? You know, I really don't watch the NBA. I just watch the Bulls. But wasn't he playing good ball?
I don't think that's the point. The point is that he passed up on
those
Tatum.
other guys.
and
but he was a better prospect though, right? He was. They had him.
No, I think that he was a better ticket seller for LA.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why.
That was a power play move.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think although we are talking about that young talent as a core, I think we all know that if we walking in reality, that Lonzo Ball's playing good ball is nowhere near what Jason Tatum's going to give you night in and night out.
Agreed.
Especially on a team that needs scorers and a shooter and length, and healthy players. Lonzo Ball is none of those right now. Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as to say Magic don't know what he's doing. I don't think it's a stretch to say he may be a bit in over his head, and he may be, maybe they thought that, Magic being Magic can kind of make some shit happen just because he's Magic. But I mean, we've seen great players run franchises into the ground all the time. I'm not saying that he is, but
right. What's your grade? What's your grade on him?
On Magic?
Yeah.
I give him a C.
Okay.
But just because, like, I know I say this with the NFL draft all the time, is we always say stuff like, yeah, everybody had this guy rated higher than him. Yeah, a lot of people would have, yeah, but you did take him. You were the one that actually took him. And there could be a million other teams that say, yeah, I had him rated higher than him too, but you the one that drafted.
True.
And so 10 years from now,
you should be held accountable.
Exactly. So yeah, 10 years from now, when they got you on a 30 for 30 and how you botched this draft up, and
hey, well, who's the dude chosen before Jordan?
Wait.
Sam Bowie.
Sam Bowie. Like,
but also Akeem Olajuwon was.
Akeem Olajuwon. Yeah.
So,
but I mean, them boys still catching hell though.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. In 20 years, when they doing a 30 for 30, you the one they're gonna be talking about. Not everybody else that had them rated higher than Jordan. You the one that's gonna be held accountable for.
Because I swear everybody talk about Sam Bowie.
Right.
Yeah.
And so so they same thing. When they do it,
hindsight's always 20/20.
All right. When they do a 30 for 30 on Greg Oden, the person who drafted him is going to be on that 30 for 30. Right.
Instead of KD.
Exactly.
Greg Oden's still trying to find his knees.
Yes. So
I think we really 2 years out. We really a good 2 years out from really giving a final grade. So I think C plus at this point. I think that's extremely fair. But I think time will really tell how good these players turn out to be. The young core, who he's able to bring, if he's able to get another free agent in, and what he's able to get out of the LeBron 4 years of being with the Lakers. And I think that's really the grade that you'll ultimately see in the 30 for 30 years from now, because this is LeBron's first year, Lonzo's second year, Kuzma's second year. It's still real early in this judging and assessing.
And the pick that they got, the second round pick that they got back in the D'Angelo Russell trade, they used that to draft Kuzma. So that's a good pick. We can't just focus on his bad picks. That was a great pick. So, but I think that the caveat to that, Al, is will he be around in 4 years to get that grade if he don't get another superstar in there?
Well, I think he's got enough sweat equity to get that. Like, he's got enough relationships and stuff like that to buy him to have bought himself some time.
Jeannie Buss fired her brother.
No, that's fine. But her brother wasn't named Magic Johnson either.
I don't know.
I think the summer's the key. The summer's the key. But the question is who?
Yeah.
Who? Because I think Durant is leaving Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Durant's not going to LA. I think they got a shot at Kawhi. I think Kawhi has a shot at ending up with the Lakers.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I
don't think Kawhi's going to LA.
But I think he's.
I think they've got a shot.
I would rather see Klay Thompson if they could get anybody.
Oh no, Klay! I don't think Klay's leaving Golden State.
I could see Klay though.
But I don't think Klay's leaving Golden State.
But I don't know if Golden State gonna pay Klay.
I'm gonna be honest. I think they're gonna try to pay KD, but I think KD's out.
Boogie.
Like I think KD's going to end up going to New York.
Oh, and Boogie.
I think they're gonna pay KD and Boogie, but
I don't think they're gonna pay Boogie. I don't think they're gonna pay Boogie. I don't think they're gonna pay Boogie.
I think they're gonna pay Boogie.
I think Boogie's gonna be out. Boogie's going.
Boogie ain't gonna get no max deal anyway.
Yeah, Boogie ain't gonna get no. He's gonna get. I think he's gonna end up getting more money someplace else. I don't think he's gonna get them because they're gonna. I think KD's gonna hold out to the last second, and that's gonna tie up all the money.
Okay.
And that's why I think Boogie's gonna try to be like, yo, look, if y'all ain't gonna try to hand me this bread, knowing KD gonna be out, shit, I might as well take some bread someplace else. And I think the only person willing to wait it out will be Klay.
Klay's willing, but I can see Boogie getting a. You don't think you can't see Boogie 4 year, $100 million, 110 million, something like that?
Yeah, but
they win it all.
Golden State.
Well, I think so.
Yeah, because he's getting healthier and healthier. You know,
but that ain't a max deal though. Like that ain't.
No,
that's not a max deal. That's what I'm saying.
But that's enough to sign KD or Klay. But I think if they sign KD, definitely Klay's gone. But I think they're splitting Adam. I don't think they keep Clay if they're able to keep KD because they're gonna try to bring in Boogie as well.
Yeah. That's my either way, KD is not going to the Lakers. Even if he leaves, he ain't going to the Lakers. He ain't going nowhere with LeBron because he's so hell bent on trying to, like, KD gonna wait till LeBron 40 years old and then be like, see, look, I told you I was the best player in the league. Like, that's what he's waiting. You know what I'm saying? Like, until that day comes,
he trying to get on that Mount Rushmore.
Exactly, yeah. So he gonna keep throwing that shit at the wall until it sticks, and so he's not trying to play with LeBron.
He's not gonna play with LeBron.
Yeah, Clay would be perfect for LeBron, but he said he wants to spend the rest of his career in Golden State, which of course he's gonna say. He'd be perfect to play with LeBron. Kyrie's not trying to go through that again and be in LeBron's shadow. So if he leaves Boston, he ain't going there.
Yo, like, I honestly, and I know people got these little memes about it, but honestly, and this is not me as a Knicks fan, I can see Kyrie and Durant in New York.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can see that.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see that. But Durant and anybody would be the
especially with the amount of cap room that that New York has just cleared by getting rid of he done cleared some room. So I don't know. I don't know if it equates to anything, but I just think that it's going to be a lot of movement in this offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know. So I'm just I would be. I mean, granted, it's better than what you got now, but I don't know. I'll be leery of having leaning my championship hopes on Kevin Durant being the actual leader of my team. It's one thing if he's the best player, but I don't want him as the leader of my team.
I think you're right. Like, I would like to pair him with somebody to be the face, that dude, and him just be the most talented player on the team, but who wants to be the leader? But again, him coming to the Knicks would be a great day, a great month.
Yeah.
Podcast listeners, y'all would enjoy Alvin Glymph on the air. If Kevin Durant comes to the Knicks, I will always be in a great mood because that would be the bomb.
Hey, we know exactly what you mean by that, Jay. But could you elaborate on that for a listener that doesn't understand what you mean by that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, though, like, we all played sports. Again, we all, at some points coach. Some of us are very good coaches. So we all know the difference in your best player as I say, your most talented player, sometimes even your best player, and your leader. So, for instance, the Houston Rockets, their leader is unquestionably Chris Paul. Chris Paul is the leader of that team. That team goes as he goes. When he goes down with an injury, I say when because it's going to happen. At some point, that team goes down. Their best player, unquestionably, is James Harden. So, ideally, you want your best player to be your leader, your hardest worker. Your most unselfish and selfish whenever it needs to be. But sometimes those roles do have to be split. And it's so much more evident in basketball because things are so much more interchangeable. So a lot of times, in other sports, football, baseball, you can have your best player not be your leader because there are so many different aspects working. But basketball is so like tight knit as a group and everything's interchangeable. That sometimes you do have to, split those roles. So if Kevin Durant, we've seen him be the second best player in the league, in OKC, and still not be the unquestioned leader of that team. And then he goes to another team that won 73 games with other leaders and other big personalities. And he said it himself, I just want to play basketball. He's not interested in being a leader. He wants to be the best player. So that's what I meant.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So I do agree with everybody. It's going to be interesting in LA and across the league because it will be a lot of money and a lot of bodies flying around this offseason. So
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, very. So, all right. Really quick before we get to trivia. So the NFL Combine actually officially started today with offensive linemen and special teams and kickers and punters checking in. I think weigh-ins will start tomorrow, and then they'll get to the actual workouts on Thursday. But any names coming out? Of course, they may not even participate in the Combine, but any big names you guys are looking at specifically or have an eye on for your favorite teams? Pooh, anybody in particular you looking at for the Bears?
Man, we don't have a pick for a while, so everything that I want, it's getting eaten up. I don't think we have a pick, to the second or third round?
Second round.
Second round, I definitely wouldn't mind having Trayvon Mullen, cornerback out of Clemson, because I pretty much think those other guys will, be gone. But he's a tall guy, speed guy. He can get in and cover the slot if need be, and he could be able to take the torch from Prince of Mukamura, which I freaking hate. But and of course we're gonna lose our safety Amos in free agency, but we thinking we can finally get some use out of Devin Bush out of Miami from a few years ago. So definitely, maybe you Trayvon Mullen.
Okay. All right. Yosh, your Giants. Anybody you got your eye on? Which quarterback you looking at, sir?
Anybody whose name is not Eli Manning. So, no, the quarterback out of Ohio State, I think that's going to be our first round pick.
Haskins.
Yeah, Haskins. I don't know if it'll actually happen, but I could see it. That's in my dreams. I think that would make us a young team, a young quarterback to go along with a young running back and a semi-young wide receiver and a wide receiver core. I think we got some good pieces offensively. And I think we got a pretty good team if you take Eli out the picture, just kind of to grow together. I will say this, just for y'all, about the 7th round, there's going to be a pick. A team is going to get a pick in the 7th round. His name is Christopher Myron Turner. He's a 6'4" corner. Played at Liberty University. Boy is a lockdown dude. He held Isaiah Ford to under 100 yards his junior year. And the only reason he's not going higher is because he had some problems in college. So remember, you heard it on the Defy Life podcast first. Christopher Myron Turner, a 6'4" corner with a 4.2 speed. He's not going to end up at the Combine. He's going to have a pro day on, I think it's March 23rd. And I'm telling you, the kid can ball. He can flat out ball. Check out, like I said, we're gonna be posting some videos on Defy Life. Go defylife.com. Check out his highlight reel and on all Defy Life social media. The boy can ball. And it, like I said, late round, I don't know nothing about the early rounds or whatever. I just happen to know this kid personally, and the kid can ball. And it's amazing. And I'm telling you, if the kid get in the league, he gonna blow up 1 to 2 years. Y'all gonna remember. You're gonna remember you heard it here first. Christopher Turner. That's it.
Well, now we gotta get him on the show.
Oh shoot, I can call him right now. He be on the show. I mean.
We'll let him get
great
his pro
young
day
talent.
Stuff out the way. He's putting in a lot of work for his pro day.
Training right now down in Louisiana. So definitely,
cool. Yeah, we ain't gonna keep you up too late, Chris, and have them blaming us on why you running the 4.6 the next morning. So we definitely got to catch up with him as it gets closer to the draft. Yeah, so good stuff. All right. Al, man, for your Cowboys, man, you watching anybody in particular? And now that Randy Gregory is done again.
Word.
And David Irving is probably about to be done. Again.
Coming in, preparing for this show, my answer to the question was really, I was thinking about hopefully one of the top running backs would slip. I think our lineup is pretty set. So if we get fortunate to one of them could slip, that's kind of what I was hoping to find a backup for Zeke.
Okay.
But now it's a thing of, to me, there's no question they got to go defensive line, because Taco was, he's had moments, but he didn't show up too well after his injury at the end of the season, Taco Charlton. Yeah. David Irvin is probably going to get let go because of his stuff. If Gregory's going to be suspended for any amount of time, DeMarcus Lawrence, while they want to sign, isn't a given. So to me, it's with this news, they have to go defensive line. All that to say, I have no name now because I didn't prepare for a defensive lineman. So whatever good, solid defensive linemen are in the second round area, that's who I'll probably be paying attention to this weekend.
Well, there are defensive end, pass rush is one of the deepest positions in this class. So
that's what I'm looking for. Jets in round their first pick. I'm hoping
Josh
Quentin
Allen
Williams would be nice, but I'm really hoping for Josh Allen.
Yeah,
either one of them. And honestly, I'm really hoping a quarterback gets up into those top, that there's someone trades down so that a quarterback gets picked.
Yeah,
so
start
maybe
people down.
Bosa. Yeah, I'm just saying. You never know what might happen. So.
Yeah, but there's some names. Yeah, you're right. Bosa, Allen, Brian Burns from Florida State, Kaep Polite from Florida. There's some pass rushers out there. Yeah.
And really, what I really hope for the Jets with that pick is that they do trade out and go down to 5, 6, somebody who might want to jump up maybe ahead of the Giants to get that.
Still land one. Yeah. Right.
Right.
No.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, depending on what, when, I guess it's a matter of when now Antonio Brown gets traded and what the Steelers can get for him. I don't know, man. I know DK Metcalf, a receiver from. Have y'all seen DK Metcalf? First of all. All right. First of all, he's gonna blow up the combine if he does all the drills. He might start getting. He ain't as fast as Calvin Johnson and not like as freaky of an athlete, like explosive wise, but you looking at a dude like 6'4", like 230, with quick feet, long arms, can run, can jump, like it's crazy, but he's raw. So his route tree is pretty limited. Played with some pretty bad quarterbacks at Ole Miss. But if I say now, before the combine, that if Antonio Brown gets traded, I'm hoping DK Metcalf slips to 20. But after the combine, it ain't happening. So keep an eye on him. But yeah, so of course with the Steelers, we always looking at cornerbacks and linebackers. There's a dude, Byron Murphy, out of University of Washington. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Joe Hayden, so that would be nice to have on the other side of Joe. Linebackers, you got Devin White out of LSU. So some names to look at, but if DK Metcalf slips to 20, I hope they turn that pick in like 3 seconds. So, yeah. All right, well, there's that. Yosh, man, you ready to beat us down with some trivia?
Oh, yeah. All right. So for the last week of Black History Month, for the last episode of Black History Month, all of these questions are related to Black history. And we're going to tabulate the score. I'm going to let you know how we do as far as the different categories. First category is Black movies. I'm going to play a clip from a movie. If you can identify the movie, you get single points. If you give me the year, you get double points. And if you pick the two major actors or actresses I chose, you get triple points. You got to pick the ones I chose.
Okay.
Then we have art and entertainment. Those don't have any. Those are all single points. And all the categories got 10 through 50. It's 5 questions in each. Then we got Black History Facts, and then we have Black History famous Black speeches. Single points for the person that gave the speech, double points for the year the speech was given, and triple points for the name of the speech. Okay?
Okay.
Oh yeah, I made it. Now, here's why I said I needed some little bit of time. With the speeches, I think that I want to educate our listenership. So I'm going to ask that each clip got about 3 minutes in the speech. So if y'all cheat to check Google, you actually will have time. But by the time the speech is over, because I do want to play the speech in the amount of time so that people actually feel what's being said, you'll have that much time. It's about, each speech is at least 3 minutes. So I know that's a little bit of time, but I do think each speech and the clips that I've chosen from that speech has something important that I feel our listenership needs to hear. So that's why I said, I was kind of trying to down the time on my talking throughout the show. So here we go. I don't know the order, Jay, because my computer was jacked up last show, and Money about killed me for that in the group text. So JR won. Yeah. So Jay will go first, and then Al was second, and then Pooh will be third. So we'll go. What we're gonna do is, and every person pretty much picks how they do their trivia. So Jay, you'll go, and then we'll move on to Al, and then Pooh, and we'll continue to rotate, and so forth and so on. Okay. Cool. There's no ability to steal, but it's definitely a positive. All right. So Jay, where you going?
Run back to again.
Yeah. Black movies, art and entertainment, Black history facts, and famous Black speeches.
Yeah, let me go. What's the point totals again?
10, 20, 30, 40, and 50.
Okay. I'm going to go Black art and entertainment for 50.
All right. Who was the first African American to attend the U.S. Naval Academy?
Damn. That's entertainment.
No, you said Black history facts or art and entertainment.
Black art and entertainment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was like, shit. I was like, it must have been Spike Lee or somebody. Okay.
My fault.
He must have been an artist.
Really?
Mary Price is a famous what?
Mary Price?
Yeah, Mary Leontine Price is a famous what? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Guitar player. I don't know.
Close.
She's a singer.
But not so much. Yes, she is a singer, but she's an opera singer, to be exact.
Okay.
All right. Al, where you going?
I want to go arts and entertainment, but I can't resist to see what are these speeches about. Give me famous Black speeches for. Give me 40. What's for 40?
40? Okay. Listen to the speech and then tell me who it is at the end of the speech.
The men of the Niagara movement, coming from the toil of the year's hard work and pausing a moment from the earning of their daily bread, turn toward the nation and again ask, in the name of 10 million, the privilege of a hearing. We will not be satisfied to take one jot or tittle less than our full manhood rights. We claim for ourselves every single right that belongs to a freeborn American, political, civil, and social. And until we get these rights, we will never cease to protest and assail the ears of America. The battle we wage is not for ourselves alone, but for all true Americans. It is a fight for ideals, lest this, our common fatherland, false to its founding, become in truth the land of the thief and the home of the slave. Never before in the modern age has a great and civilized folk threatened to adopt so cowardly a creed in the treatment of its fellow citizens born and bred on its soil. In detail, our demands are clear and unequivocal. First, we would vote. We want full manhood suffrage, and we want it now, henceforth and forever. Second, we want discrimination in public accommodation to cease. Separation in railway and streetcars, based simply on race and color, is un-American, undemocratic, and silly. We protest against all such discrimination. Third, we claim the right of free men to walk, talk, and be with them that wish to be with us. No man has a right to choose another man's friends, and to attempt to do so is an impudent interference with the most fundamental human privilege. Fourth, we want the laws enforced against rich as well as poor, against capitalist as well as laborer, against white as well as black. We want the 14th Amendment carried out to the letter, and every state disfranchised in Congress which attempts to disfranchise its rightful voters. We want the 15th Amendment enforced and no state allowed to base its franchise simply on color. Fifth, we want our children educated, that no bribe of money or notoriety, no promise of wealth or fame, is worth the surrender of a people's manhood or the loss of a man's self-respect. We appeal to the young men and women of this nation, to those whose nostrils are not yet befouled by greed and snobbery and racial narrowness. Stand up for the right, prove yourselves worthy of your heritage, and whether born North or South, dare to treat men as men. Either the United States will destroy ignorance, or ignorance will destroy the United States.
All right, Al.
Yo, that was a dope speech.
Oh,
I have no idea, but I'm going to guess Frederick Douglass.
Oh, close. You have no idea how close. It was W.E.B. Du Bois.
Wow.
And the name of that speech for our listeners is The Men of Niagara, if you want to look it up. And that was in 1906.
Is that his voice?
No, that wasn't his voice. That's the only problem. I couldn't find anything with his voice.
Oh, no, that's still cool, though. That's dope.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thomas, where you at?
Movies for 50.
See, how did I know you were going to go there?
Yeah.
Let's see how much of a guru Thomas is.
Go on, give me the money.
Give me the money.
Give me the money, man. Under arrest.
Well, y'all don't look like no cops to me.
That's why they hired us, baby, because we don't look like cops.
Okay, up against this wall here. Move it, bitch. I said up against this goddamn wall.
Hey, what are you doing?
All right, turn around.
Looking for?
I didn't find it. Okay, you bitches are under arrest for prostitution. Mars, go get a squad car.
Check, Jackson.
Hey, baby, this is my best day. And y'all gonna make us lose a whole lot of money.
Oh, baby, you make my heart bleed for you.
Look, man, come here. Let me talk to you here. Look, man, I just got out yesterday. See, give me a break here. Man, I ain't made up yet. Oh, come on now. What do you say? Here, give me a break.
Well,
Here.
we take bribes.
Nigga, how much you want?
How about
$20?
No, he said $10. $10. Here.
Shit.
Wait a minute. The Lone Ranger. Girl, they're trying to stick us up.
All right, Pooh.
I don't know.
Oh, you serious?
Oh, man.
Hey, Al, tell him what it is, Al.
The Max, son.
I've never seen it.
Goldie? Richard Pryor?
Oh, no, Al, you wrong.
Was it the Mac? I'm
wrong. No.
So was that Richard Pryor though?
No. That movie was Cooley High. Back in 1975, Glenn Turman and Lawrence Hilton Jackson, when Preach and my man Cochise held up the prostitutes to get money to go to the movie, man.
Nah.
Come on now, Cooley High.
I haven't seen it, man.
Oh, yeah.
I knew after the first few lines I hadn't seen it.
That wasn't my question.
Hey, Pooh, you ain't seen it. Hey, Pooh, if you haven't had a chance, people out there, if you haven't had a chance to see it, go rent, go see, get a chance, get the DVD, box it. What is it? The Cody. Watch Cooley High, man. That scene where Cochise died, man. If you don't shed a tear, shit, that's that shit now.
Yeah, check out the back while you at it too.
Yeah, man. Come on now. If Cooley High, I ain't realize y'all boy ain't no Cooley High. But all right, go ahead, Jay.
All right, let me get.
Once again,
movies for what was that for 50?
You got 10, 20, 30, and 40 left.
All right, let me get black movies for 40.
For 40?
Well, if it ain't shuffling along Mac and his old-time donkey.
Biggie Smalls. Your mama still working in them $10 houses?
Some other time. One of these days, I'm going to climb all over you.
It'll take more guts than you got, Biggie. You got to bring ass to get ass.
You're colorful, Mac. Dumb, old-fashioned, and out of style, but colorful.
Biggie, you out your territory. And I don't like it when people come into my town without paying their respect.
Well, we no longer consider this town as out of our territory.
Watch your mouth, son.
In fact, I brought you a message from the boys in Kentucky and Alabama. They say you run this town like a sissy, and they think you ought to consider retiring. We're ready to talk a deal.
Deal? Listen, Mississippi and Louisiana belong to me and my boys, and you be one dead sucker along with all the rest of these young college clowns if you try that expansion stuff on us.
You know how things are nowadays with the gambling and sporting life in the Black Belt. There's no need for two of us.
You got that right, Biggie.
Now, Mac, I wouldn't like to see no violence.
You ain't gonna have to. I'm gonna hit you so hard you won't see nothing.
What you got, Jay?
Is that Cotton Comes to Harlem?
No.
Can I guess this one?
Yeah, go ahead, Al. What you got?
Uptown Saturday Night.
Close.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. 1975 with Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier.
Right.
I can't remember which one came first, but yeah.
Uptown Saturday Night did come first, but Let's Do It Again was second. Let's Do It Again was the more popular one.
That wasn't James talking? James?
Yeah, that was John Amos.
Yeah, that was John Amos. John Amos. That was John Amos. Boy, listen, that movie is, if you have not seen it, once again, instant classic. Let's do it again.
Jay,
all right.
That actor who's talking with John Amos was in Cotton Comes to Harlem.
Yes, he was.
Name was, but he wasn't in movies.
Yeah.
Biggie, the guy who's playing Biggie Smalls.
Biggie Smalls, yeah. Okay. I'm going to hit you so hard you ain't going to see nothing. All right.
So let me try black movies for 30 then.
Black movies for 30s? Right. All right.
$3 million in cash? Now let's take it with me. I need $3 million. You know how much money $3 million in cash is? You don't walk around the street with $3 million in cash. You need an army of security guards. The man's right. What do they pay you here?
About $350 a week before taxes.
You can't live on that. This is a dangerous job. I'll pay you $2,000 a week to be the chief of my security. No. Oh, yes, that's wrong. Okay, $4,000 a week. And you get 20 other guys, and I'll pay them $3,000 a week. Now go in there and get the $3 million and follow me. Yes, sir. Everybody follow me.
You spend money. Listen to me. This is Spike. This is your old pal. You don't do things like that. You don't do things that's worth money for you.
How would you like to be my personal driver for the next 30 days at $5,000 a week?
You want to hire a piece of shit cop for $5,000 a week? Cash! What a country! America, I love it!
All right, Al.
Is that Brewster's Millions?
Correct. Brewster's Millions for 30. You gonna go for the year for the dub?
The year, I'll say 1987.
Ooh, close. 1985. But you're the only one with points on the board.
Hey, and that was Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
And that was Richard Pryor, and one of the other actors in the movie was?
Jackie Gleason?
Jackie Gleason.
No. John Candy.
Yeah.
John Candy.
Jackie Gleason was in the tour.
Yeah.
Jackie Gleason was in the tour.
Thank you. You're right. Okay, right. Al's on the board.
All right, Thomas.
Let me try for 20, man. I can't strike out.
This is about that girl Nina, isn't it?
What you doing, man? Can I get my shot?
No. This is about that girl Nina, right?
Somebody know it.
She jacked you up, didn't she?
She jacked me. Ooh, man. Dude. I mean, it defies description. She put the boom doom, the sandaria, the yuba, all of it. She put it on.
All right, you got it. Love Jones. What's the year?
Love Jones. 97.
Okay, you got dub actors. Two of the actors that I picked.
You got Lorenz Tate,
of course,
and dang, I don't even know the other guy's name, yo. The one speaking, right? I can't get to them. She didn't speak, right?
4, 3.
Can I pick her?
2.
Yeah. Me alone. Oh
man, that's what I'm saying. Just anybody from the movie. Just the two that I.
No, I thought you were saying like voice. I thought you were saying. Okay.
Okay, so Pooh took the lead with 60. Back to you, Jay.
We go arts and entertainment for 40.
Arts and entertainment for 40. Who founded the magazine Ebony?
John. 7, 6.
And you are correct, my man. John H. Johnson is correct. All right, so Jay with 40. Thomas with 60. Al with 30. But we're in the third round, so Al, you're up.
We have Black Movies for 10.
Black Movies for 10. Okay.
So what's your hype, huh? I can show you how to get out of prison. And there's no hype. Yeah, well, talk, Daddy. Yo, I'm listening. Hey, this ain't bad. You got to move. That's the last fix I'm giving you. And so what you give it to me for then, huh? Because you needed it. Because you couldn't hear me without it. Nigga, get on off my face. I think you got more sense than any cat in this prison. Why the hell don't you use it? You can't bust out of here like they do in the movies. Because even if you get out, you're still in prison. Yeah, you ain't lying there. You go busting your fist against a stone wall. You're not using your brain. That's what the white man wants you to do. Look at you, putting all that poison in your hair. I think you've been in prison too long, my man, because everybody on the outside counts. Why? Why does everybody on the outside count? Because they don't want to walk around with a nappy head looking like... Looking like what? Like me? Like a nigger? Why don't you want to look like what you are? What makes you ashamed of being black?
All right, Al.
Dude, how perfectly timed for the conversation of the night. That was Malcolm X.
Of course. And the year? For the dub, the year for the dub.
1992.
Okay, you got that. 2 actors or actresses from that movie.
Denzel Washington
9, 8, 7, 6,
Angela,
5.
Bingo, you got it.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were going Angela or Spike, but I went with Angela.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got it. You got it. You got it. All right, Pooh, for the last question of the round, we have nothing left in black movies. We have the 10, 20, and 30 left in art and entertainment. We have the 10, 20, 30, and 40. All questions in black history facts. And we have left in black speeches. We have 10, 20, 30, and 50. Where you going, Pooh? Is Thomas with us?
I can't forfeit it.
My bad. I was steady talking. Give me 50 for the speech.
50 for the speech. All right, here's the speech.
It is we who have picked the cotton for nothing. It is we who are the maids in the kitchens of liberal white people. It is we who are the janitors, the porters, the elevator men. We who sweep up your college floors. Yes, it is we who are the hardest workers and the lowest paid. And the lowest paid. And that it is nonsensical for people to start talking about human relationships until they're willing to build new institutions. Black people are economically insecure. White liberals are economically secure. Can you begin to build an economic coalition? Are the liberals willing to share their salaries with the economically insecure black people they so much love? Then if you're not, are you willing to start building new institutions that will provide economic security for black people? That's the question we want to deal with. That's the question we want to deal with. We have to seriously examine the histories that we have been told, but we have something more to do than that. American students are perhaps the most politically unsophisticated students in the world. In the world. In the world. Across every country in this world, while we were growing up, students were leading the major revolutions of their countries. We have not been able to do that. They have been politically aware of their existence. In South America, our neighbors down below the border have one every 24 hours just to remind us that they're politically aware. And that we have been unable to grasp it because we've always moved in the field of morality and love while people have been politically jiving with our lives. And the question is, how do we now move politically and stop trying to move morally? You can't move morally against a man like Brown and Reagan. You got to move politically to cut them out of business. You got to.
All right, what you got, Pooh?
Is that the person's voice?
Yeah, that's the actual person's voice.
I don't have a clue.
All right, that is. No, it's not Huey. That is Stokely Carmichael. In 1966, he gave his Black Power speech on the University of Southern California.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So at the end of that round, the scores are Pooh and Al are tied in first with 60, and Jay, you have 40. We have art and entertainment, 10, 20, and 30. We have Black History Facts, 10, 20, 30, and 40. And we have Black Speeches, 10, 20, and 30. What you got, Jay?
I'm going to get Black History Facts for 40.
Black History Facts for 40. What is the name of Oprah's TV production company?
Harpo.
10.
You are correct. All right.
Damn, I was about to say on.
And that's why I put that. That's why I put that one at 40 because I knew somebody was going to say on.
Nah, I thought I was just about to say it. I was like, no,
all right, Al, we have art and entertainment, 10, 20, and 30. Black History Facts, 10, 20, 30, and 50. We have Black Speeches, 10, 20, and 30.
First, I think I got my point challenge because I got the first one 10.
You got a 30 point.
Right.
And then you had a 10 with a triple point. So that was 30.
Okay.
30.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm like, you right, Judge.
Hey, man,
We're going to points taken away for a false reading, though?
That's a false uno. That's a false uno.
I hit on house rules early, but let me go speeches for 30. Let me do speeches for 30.
Speeches for 30.
What to the slave is the 4th of July? July 4th, 1852. This speech was delivered by the abolitionist and former slave Frederick Douglass during the American Civil War. He was invited by the citizens of Rochester, New York, to give a speech.
Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Let him fall.
Fellow citizens, pardon me, and allow me to ask, why am I called to speak here today? What have I, or those I represent, to do with your national independence? Are the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in that Declaration of Independence extended to us? And am I, therefore, called upon to bring our humble offering to the national altar and to confess the benefits and express devout gratitude for the blessings resulting from your independence to us? Would to God, both for your sakes and ours, that an affirmative answer could be truthfully returned to those questions. Then would my task be light, and my burden easy and delightful. For who is there so cold that a nation's sympathy cannot warm him? Who so obdurate and dead to the claims of gratitude that would not thankfully acknowledge such priceless benefits? Who so stolid and selfish that would not give his voice to swell the hallelujahs of a nation's jubilee when the chains of servitude have been torn from his limbs? I am not that man. In a case like that, the dumb might eloquently speak, and the lame man leap as an hart. But such is not the case. I say it with a sad sense of disparity between us. I am not included within the pales of this glorious anniversary. Your high independence only reveals the immeasurable distance between us. The blessings in which you this day rejoice are not enjoyed in common. The rich inheritance of justice, liberty, prosperity, and independence bequeathed by your fathers is shared by you, not by me. The sunlight that brought life and healing to you has brought stripes and death to me. This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice. I must mourn. To drag a man in fetters into the grand illuminated temple of liberty and call upon him to join you in joyous anthems were inhuman mockery and sacrilegious irony. Do you mean, citizens, to mock me by asking me to speak today? If so, there is a parallel to your conduct, and let me warn you that it is dangerous to copy the example of a nation, Babylon, whose crimes, towering up to heaven, were thrown down by the breath of the Almighty, burying that nation in irrecoverable ruin. Fellow citizens, above your national, tumultuous joy, I hear the mournful wail of millions, whose chains, heavy and grievous yesterday, are today rendered more intolerable by the jubilant shouts that reach them. If I do forget, if I do not remember those bleeding children of sorrow this day, may my right hand forget her cunning, and may my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. To forget them, to pass lightly over their wrongs, and to chime in with the popular theme would be treason most sacrilegious and shocking, and would make me a reproach before God and the world. My subject, then, fellow citizens, is American slavery. I shall...
All right, Al.
I should have gave my answer. It's just well timed. I'm the right person to get this one. Frederick Douglass.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm only going with American slavery because that's what he said at the very end. I don't know what the name is.
No, he gave that speech in 1852, and the name of the speech is "What Does the 4th of July Mean to the Slave?"
Wow. I've actually read that because of that reason. Like, at times when trying to, this is more when I was in college, trying to figure out 4th of July, should we be celebrating? And this was something that was brought to my attention in that speech. So I knew that one.
All right. Yeah. Listen, that speech was powerful to me because I was just sitting there going, as much as we shoot off fireworks and pay all this money on the 4th of July. A lot of that stuff made a lot of sense. All right, Thomas, what you got?
What did you say? Arts.
Okay, we got art and entertainment for 10, 20, and 30. We got Black History Facts for 10, 20, and 30. And then we got famous speeches for 10 and 20.
Art and entertainment for 30.
Art and entertainment for 30. The Four Tops, The Temptations, and Mary Wells are from what city?
Repeat that. The who?
The Four Tops, The Temptations, and Mary Wells are from what city?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Detroit.
2, 1.
Way to bring it in, Pooh. Drop that bitch
down.
All right, so we still have a tie. We have Jay with 80, we have Thomas with 90, and we have Al with 90. Jay, we have art and entertainment left for 10 and 20. We have Black History Facts left for 10, 20, and 30. And we have famous speeches, which is the only category with single, double, and triple points in 10, 20, and 30. I'm sorry, in 10 and 20. My bad.
10, 20. All right. Good. Black History Facts for 30.
Black History Facts for 30. Who was the first African American to win Mrs. America?
Think.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Vanessa Williams.
Oh, just caught it at the buzzer.
Was it right? I was like,
Vanessa Williams was correct.
All right.
Also known back in the day as Vanessa the Undresser. Because if you remember,
the Undresser.
Yeah.
Because she also was part of that scandal for posing nude.
Yeah.
During her tenure, so we refer to her as Vanessa the
Undresser. Yeah, I got you. Hey, Al, look at Al going back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Al, we got art and entertainment for 10 and 20.
Social media scandal.
We got Black History Facts for 10 and 20, and we got famous speeches for 10 and 20.
Let me try speeches again. Let me try speeches for 20.
As I say, if we bring up religion, we'll have differences, we'll have arguments, we'll never be able to get together. But if we keep our religion at home, keep our religion in the closet, keep our religion between ourselves and our God. But when we come out here, we have a fight that's common to all of us against the enemy who is common to all of us. Whether you are a Christian or a Muslim or a nationalist, we all have the same problem. They don't hang you because you're black. They don't attack me because I'm a Muslim, they attack me because I'm black. They attack all of us for the same reason. All of us catch hell from the same enemy, all in the same bag, in the same boat. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. All of them from the same enemy. The government has failed us. You can't deny that. Anytime you live in the 20s and you walking around singing, "We shall overcome," the government has failed us. This is part of what's wrong with you. You do too much singing. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging. And I'm here to tell you, in case you don't know it, that you got a new generation of black people people in this country who don't care anything whatsoever about odds. They don't want to hear you old Uncle Tom Hanker's heads talking about the odds. No. This is a new generation. If they're going to draft these young black men and send them over to Korea or South Vietnam to face 800 million Chinese, if you're not afraid of those odds, you shouldn't be afraid of these odds.
Al, what you got?
Man, it's the Ballad of the Bullet, Malcolm X.
Man.
Ballad of the Bullet, Malcolm X. Well, you got to get to double before you get to the triple. Give me the year.
Oh, when did he die?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bingo. You hit it on the nail.
Ballad of the Bullet, 64.
All right, Thomas, you got
I
some
was just
catching
a
up.
guess because he died in 65. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
64,
Al getting all the
64.
Malcolm X questions on that.
Hey.
All right, Thomas, you got to catch up. We got you got famous speeches for 10, Black History Facts for 10 and 20, and Art and Entertainment for 10 and 20.
Where am I?
You are right now you are at 90. Jay is at 110, and Al is at 150.
I thought I was at 90 before the last question. No?
No, you had
last round.
That was the end of the last round.
True. Let me get the joint for the 20. What is it? The entertainment.
Entertainment for 20. Who was the first? I'm gonna start over. Who was the first Black Pulitzer Prize winner? I'll read it again. Who was the first Black or African American Pulitzer Prize winner?
Pulitzer.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I've been waiting. Is Gwendolyn Brooks.
Gwendolyn Brooks.
I don't know, but that dude counting down, his voice put pressure on him.
All right, the count is Jay with 110, Thomas with 90, and Al with 150. All right, Jay, we got Art and Entertainment for 10, Black History Facts for 10 and 20, and then we got Famous Speeches for 10.
Let me get famous speeches for 10. We can't catch Al though, but I get it for 10. Try to get that triple.
Hey, listen, you never know. Try to get that triple. And you probably can get the triple on this one. This one's super easy.
Oh, wow.
Well, children, where there is so much racket, there must be something out of kilter. I think that twixt the Negroes of the South and the women at the all talking about rights. The white men will be in a fix pretty soon. But what all this you're talking about? That man over there says that women need to be helped into carriages and lifted over ditches and to have the best place everywhere. Nobody ever helps me into carriages or over mud puddles or give me any best place. And ain't I a woman? Look at me. Look at my arm. I have plowed and planted and gathered into barns, and no man could head me. And ain't I a woman? I could work as much and eat as much as a man when I could get it, and bear the lash as well. And ain't I a woman? I have borne 13 children, and seen most all sold off to slavery. And when I cried out with my mother's grief, none but Jesus heard me. And ain't I a woman? Then they talk about this thing in the head. What's this they call it? Intellect. That's it, honey. What's that got to do with women's rights or Negroes' rights? If my cup won't hold but a pint, and yours holds a quart, wouldn't you be mean not to let me have my little half measure full? Then that little man in black there, he says women can't have as much rights as men, 'cause Christ wasn't a woman. Where did your Christ come from? Where did your Christ come from? From God and a woman. Man had nothing to do with him. If the first woman God ever made was strong enough to turn the world upside down all alone, these women ought to be able to turn it back and get it right side up again. And now they is asking to do it. The men better let them. Obliged you for hearing me.
Jay?
All right, so funny enough, I go to Facebook the other day, and me and Al's cousin in Detroit has a shirt on that says, "Ain't I though?" And so that's a dope ass shirt, and then of course under it had Sojourner Truth. So yeah, so Sojourner Truth. Name of the speaker is Ain't I a Woman?
Okay.
And
the year is?
Yeah, so the year, which is funny because that caused me to do some research and figure out when she did the speech.
8,
and
7,
it was
6,
actually during the week of my
5,
birthday. So I got the
4,
date. It's May 29th, 1851.
1.
And you all right, Jay, for the triple?
Right. Yeah, so, but yeah, it was a lot of stories behind that speech.
140, Jay has cut it. Al, we have art and entertainment for 10, Black History Facts for 10, and Black History Facts for 20. And here's how this is going to work. At the end of it all, I'm going to have a toss-up question since money was supposed to be on. We had enough for 4 people. Gotcha. But since it's going to end up being 2 more questions, Al and Pooh, and then the last question is going to be a toss-up. Whoever answers first will get the answer. Will get the points.
Ooh, okay.
So, Al, art and entertainment for 10. Black
History for 20.
Oh, Al going for the strategic win.
Hey, I wasn't born yesterday.
Now, because of the level of how easy this question is, I'm only going to read it once and then start the countdown.
Dang, give me special rules.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Who was the voice of Darth? Who was the voice of Darth? Hey, listen. Who was the voice of Darth Vader?
James L. Jones.
10.
Oh, shit, I ain't 9, getting 10.
8.
All right, James L. Jones. I don't even know why I'm adding these points, but you know.
But hey, as a little kid, to find out that the voice of Darth Vader was a black man.
Yo, that was crazy, right?
Had this trip, right?
Yo, you know how many people still don't know that?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that still don't know that James Earl Jones was the voice of Darth Vader. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I knew that and still try to listen to it and go, that don't sound like him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but anyway, moving on. Pooh, you got art and entertainment for 10 and Black History Facts for 10. We're gonna finish it off. Thomas, are you there?
Arts for 10, man. I can't do nothing.
And this was the easiest question of the night.
Let's see if I know it.
Actually, it was the second easiest question of the night. The next question is the easiest question of the night. Who won an Oscar for his role in the movie Glory?
Who won? Morgan Freeman.
Oh.
10.
I guess it wasn't that easy.
Denzel Washington. What the hell? You?
Oh, Denzel. I thought Denzel didn't have one. I thought he didn't have one until
leading.
Leading. Okay.
He got that as supporting actor.
Supporting.
He got that as supporting actor.
I got it. Denzel Washington came to my head, but I just thought he didn't win it until Training Day. So, but I got it.
All right. The toss-up question would have been, what Harlem Theater is a showcase for African American talent? The Apollo. There you go, Jay. Way to come in at the end. So the final numbers is the winner for tonight, Al at 170 points. Second place, Jay at 150 points. And Thomas pulling up the rear at 100 points. Most and foremost, for our last chance on, for our last opportunity for Black History Month on trivia, I just wanted to make sure that everybody learns something more so than us just playing a regular trivia. So I'm hoping everybody learns something from it. And I guess, Jay, you'll figure out how we go out off of the points. I don't know.
No doubt. Well, that was a fun one, Yosh. And again, everybody who hope y'all enjoyed our all black everything trivias for Black History Month. So this has been fun. So great job, Yosh, to wrap this up. So yeah, man, you actually hosted. So take us out of here, man. What you got for me?
Yeah, man. At the end of the day, I'm gonna be real with you, listeners out there. Life is about moments that you live, and it's about like living and drinking in those moments. It's just a series of them, and you have to wake up every morning. Having a happy life, having a good day is a choice. You decide what your day is going to be like from the time you get up. So this morning, I woke up knowing that today was my grandmother's birthday and that it was going to be a tough day for me. I knew that, but I decided to have a good day. So I did. So no matter what happens in your life, enjoy it, because you never know when it's going to be your last. You know, things could be better, and that's true. Things in your life could be better, but they could always be worse. So make sure that no matter what, you're always defying life.
No doubt. And happy birthday to your grandma again, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Happy birthday.
No doubt. All right, Al, you won. What you got for me?
Well, one, the Knicks are on a 2-game winning streak. What up, though?
And that sucks. That sucks, balls.
Yeah, I hear you, because we trying to tank for Zion, but that's okay. But in the spirit of New York basketball, I want to give a get well, hope everything, we send in positive energy prayers to Kenny Anderson, who had a stroke over the weekend. And one of the best guards to come out of New York City, basketball legend, played in Georgia Tech, played in the league for over a decade.
Boston Celtics. That's one. Like when I became point guard, like I was like, yo, I want to be like Kenny Anderson.
Dude. And in reading that he had the stroke, I didn't know he was a coach at Fisk. He's a men's basketball.
Yeah,
I did not know that. Right. So but when the stroke also has me thinking, I have no idea, what caused the stroke. But coming out of our recent episode about health, I also want to end with just, encouraging all of us who's listening to take care of yourself, remain active, go to the doctor, just try to prevent things that can be prevented. And Yosh is right. So much is about our choices. So in terms of what we eat, what we don't eat, how active we are or not, so much of that is in our control. So that's my parting wish, is just that we try to be in a live in a more healthy fashion. And that's what's up. Have a great week, folks.
No doubt. Thomas Stevens, what you got for me?
Man, I just I just want to remind the people to be fearless, man. Dream. You know, here at Defy Life, this is what we believe, man. We believe your fears are the battle scars of the fearless, and your dreams are the heartbeats of the ambitious. Don't just live life, defy life.
Damn right. Yeah. I actually got a two-pronged shout out, so I'll take money spot. First off, I want to give a shout out to Robert Kraft for being formally charged with 2 counts of soliciting a prostitute. Just for the mere fact that he has taken the heat off of my Pittsburgh Steelers for having the most chaotic offseason. So thanks a lot, Mr. Kraft. Keep doing your thing. In the big scheme of things, it's not that surprising that a 77-year-old millionaire is trying to buy some hoes. So outside of that, it's not surprising. But thank you, sir. Secondly, I want to give a shout out to my wife, man. As Al mentioned, she was here last week as a guest on our health and wellness segment, our first one. And that episode last week was actually our highest listened to episode in the past 12 months. So
wow,
shout out to Lady and shout out to you guys for the continued growth. But yeah, it was a lot of listenership on that one, and still bringing in listens. So shout out to Lay. You did a great job, and looking forward to our next health and wellness segment guest will be LaToya Calhoun of Soulful Healings. So looking forward to that next month. So let's keep this train rolling, man. We will talk to you folks again in about 6 days from now. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Hey, Siri.
Hey, how may I help you?
Play the Relationship Status Podcast.
Playing the Relationship Status Podcast.
You know, I would ask him, like, what are you doing? You know, where are you going with this? What are you trying? And he really didn't have, like, a real answer.
Okay.
So I didn't feel like we
Get
were
out of here.
compatible later on down the line.
I think that goes back to something I've
Who was that one with all that noise?
myself, that men date women thinking they're never going to change, and women date men
thinking that they are,
thinking that they can change them.
Relationship Status. New episode every Monday at 12 noon on Defy Life Network.